Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies. Tape never lies.
Starts now.
The tape never.
A mic'd up clip with you. I was playing the Packers, and you passionately told Jordan Love to pipe down. Was
Go
that
ahead,
just
finish. What else I say?
I can't. You hear me? I'm glad you know what I'm talking about, though. Was that just a regular football interaction, or was that something just a little bit more?
Man, you know when you playing ball, man, you know, doing this, you know, being professional and being able to talk and communicate with people is something. But when you playing ball, you cross them lines, you got to be able to go in that dark place, you know. And sometimes what happened in that dark place, you know, it get a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? And just being a competitor. And like I talked about mic'd up with some of the new media team here, and I was like, yeah, I know I got some crazy ones. And that was released. So the stuff that's not released got to be super crazy. But you got to have that dog in you. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Jordan Love is a good quarterback. But you know, my thing is. So if you already can't hit the quarterback so many different ways. See, first of all, I chased him down the field over 50 yards. I went and caught him. So I got that speed on me too. And that was 2 years ago, so I'm only getting faster. So then to walk away from me talking mess, I mean, what we doing? We ain't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm excited to get to go against him 2 times a year now, and you know, just try to you know, help this organization get some wins over that other team.
What's your prediction? Prediction? Yes, prediction. Pain.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
So chase greatness and start understanding that he's going to make everybody better.
Tape never lies.
I don't want to see your tape breakdowns if you cannot show me things that are negative about a guy that's on your current team.
Hashtag chase greatness. Hashtag take that.
Keep it 100.
Because I'll make this one more time clear. Caden Whitlow, cut it.
Keeping it 100.
He is the best quarterback I have ever scouted on tape.
The Chicago Bears select.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keep it in 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the fake and anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now they're mouth stuffed like the true and now and latest. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sack strolling like a fool, drunk texting, flexing on the truth, cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane.
Give me some fucking names. Win 2 fucking games.
Fuck a play or a captain, all of the upstairs. The tape never lies, the truth, you see. We laugh, we lie, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a stat nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like trip sat. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keep it 100, baby. Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keepin' It 100 on the best Bears network on the planet, the Tape Never Lies Network. I'm Ivan Vargas. Before we get started, as always, like, share, subscribe. If you haven't become a patron today, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Do that at www.thetapeneverlies.com. Draft mob in full effect. The Bears have been very, very active, and it's making people very, very happy, you know, with the additions to the team. We just had a press conference today, Shane and I, covered that. But you know who didn't get to talk, and it sucked we didn't get the third man on there, is DDP. But DDP is going to be giving his thoughts on that tonight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring the boys out. Shane, the smartest man, and DDP, Draft Dr. Phil.
Yo.
What up?
Pain. That's what I thought when I watched his presser.
Yeah.
Well, you guys did a great job covering.
Character.
I love Ivan got 5. Ivan was ready to get a jersey, shoulder pads, one of those neck rolls.
I got
that Schlesinger had.
I used to have a neck roll. I had the old school collar, the old school one that came down here.
Did it come over there?
It flared a little bit.
Oh my God! It had a flare.
That was young Ivan and Pee Wee.
Yeah. Now the old Ivan just gets hurt when he's working in his garage.
Sneezing. Just lifting up a box and I'm fucking done.
You know what you need to do? You got to go to the fucking vegetable stand, get yourself a fucking avocado.
2 avocado.
How many?
Two avocado pits is what Phil. Yes. Phil gave me a native recipe.
Let me know. I'm telling you, it works.
I'm gonna try it out. Not that native.
I was hoping we'd see him today, but
hasn't signed the contract yet. I'm sure that's how it goes.
What's the weight there on Allman and him?
Probably traveling, family, hasn't taken the physical yet. All that stuff has to be finalized before you can.
You heard Jonah go, Drew.
Yeah. Well, you talked about Grady Jarrett, talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
About playing against
breakdown.
Yeah.
That's when I saw Ivan get fired up. He loved that breakdown.
So I didn't get confirmation on that, but Anthony's reporting tomorrow at 3 p.m. is going to be the presser for the other guys.
Okay.
There you go. Maybe they'll sign a receiver tonight.
We'll see, man. If I was putting down some money after free agency frenzy day number 1, I would have thought we would have seen another. I mean, Scott Daly, they've re-signed.
They've decided to move on from their
previous
tenured long snapper.
Patrick Scales, the first guy that everybody on earth releases from their Madden roster when you start a franchise, right? Patrick Scales. He's ranked like a 38 or something like that.
Is he?
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Oh, boy. Well, he'll have to pipe down a little bitch as well. Patrick Scales.
Oh, loved it though, dude. That was telling you, man.
Well, I'll say this because you guys touched on it, but I wanted to just double down. When you get people like that at the mic, right?
Yep.
It goes along with what I've been saying and you guys have been saying about the importance of guys that are going to lead. And having a locker room full of non-leaders is going to affect you. When you step to that level of understanding that the game is more important than anything, and his ability to accomplish what he said in minutes time gave you and every Bears fan the feeling and the vibe that the culture of the defense and the whole locker room is going to be surrounded by a personality that's going to put his money where his mouth is. And when you have that kind of player, the level of accountability doesn't always have to fall on the coach. It's going to fall on guys that love the game. That's the important thing. All I can think of is Olin Kreutz when I was listening to him, because it was a level of integrity for the game, its players, and guess what? His new team. The direction of every player on that defense is now going to be different. So now we don't have some little bitch ass cornerback running the locker room. You got a man that plays up front that sets the tone of where you win games. It isn't cliche. Grady, just the name Grady, is a dog. And he is not afraid to speak his mind and let people understand that a tone is going to be set. Now, there's several kinds of leaders in a football locker room. This is the one that we've been missing because everybody's play is going to rise up because Grady isn't going to take the money and run. He said as much. He said as much because it's important to him. He ain't worrying about the Falcons no more. He's worried about the Chicago Bears. And he's never been a free agent before. So to be one for about 14 seconds and get to the call for the Bears and be all in for a new head coach, he becomes the most important signing, really, because now you have that junkyard dog that's going to have the team the priority. And he's done it before. The game and his tape doesn't lie. When you have these little blog boy nerds that are going to look at his age and his statistical numbers and not understand the whole dynamic of a team sport, they're not going to understand what and how important this is for the Chicago Bears. It's a grade A signing. It's an A+ leader. And these are the types of people that change the whole dynamic and direction of your football team. And that's keeping it 100. Because I'll just tell you right now, the personality alone is going to bridge many gaps. So certain guys that might not like each other are going to have to learn each other and then understand that, wow, we're all working in unison to help each other. Give that man some love, and it breaks those boundaries. The ones that the Cole Kmets, DJ Moores, the Jalen Johnsons, and the Briskers have all put up under a culture full of complete and utter chaos and softness. Ben Johnson has done what he promised to do. I'm going to build this in one season. It can be done. Just look at the Panthers. Now you're going to start looking at the Chicago Bears. It's the same thing he's doing on defense, he's doing on offense. And that's my rant, Shane, there. You got to love Grady Jarrett. There's just a different disposition about it. I can hear Ivan.
Yeah. Dude, it was, I'm not ready to go where Christina Lucho is going. But yeah,
well,
it's
if she's not, I don't think she's talking about the player, like talent. I'm talking about speaking for the team.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
We've not had a face like this, right? Maybe Mike Singletary, who could stand in front of the podium and speak truthfully, and then everybody else falls in line. I'm trying to think of somebody else. You know, Walter Payton. There's certain types of players, man. The electricity about him when he spoke, it's just the passion for the game of football. We talk about Michael Haynes. God gave Michael Haynes a ton of talent. He just didn't love football. Grady Jarrett, 6
Jerry
foot
Angelo
nine.
gave him a ton of money.
He's 6 foot 290. Some
Yeah.
people are saying it's a wasted signing because he's too small. He's too old.
Yeah.
Not recognizing.
Guess what?
where-
He's been 6 foot 290 for 10 years.
Exactly. Oh my God.
But
It's
yeah,
a
that's
day that we all should remember. And guys like Abdallah and what's this dude? Sports Mockery, the Bears blog.
Eric Lambert. He's fucking listen. Dude, Eric Lambert's listening, taking fucking notes right now
should
to send out his next insider fucking
sound like
report.
a real football guy if he listens. And
But yeah,
and
no,
then-
dude, I totally agree. It was, yeah, it got everybody fired up. But that's the thing, we've been here, and I'm not saying anything negative against Grady Jarrett whatsoever, but we've also lived this life of, oh wow, this sounds awesome. And then it's time now to see production. I will put your words on the fucking field and go out there and start winning some fucking ball games consistently. That's what we need to see. And I think that is Grady Jarrett is going to help with that a lot. Initially, was I surprised by the signing of the player Grady Jarrett? No, I get it. I understand it. Was I a little surprised at the money that Grady Jarrett got? Yes, but I think it's needed because of exactly what we're talking about. You have an alpha within the locker room now on the defensive side of the football that didn't have any. We have a lot of talkers. We don't have a lot of leaders.
That's the quote of the night because it's the truth. And when your cornerback, Jalen Johnson, speaking for you, and in the same context is getting a personal foul penalty for throwing punches after a play,
right?
And your secondary is like, no.
But Phil, look where we've come. Look when Tevin Jenkins was a rookie. You could see the fire that he was playing with. Do you remember that? I think it was against Minnesota. Do you remember when?
Who was it? Justin gets tackled out of bounds.
Yeah, Justin gets hit, and then
it was
he wants to get in the guy's face.
Fetty.
Yeah, Jermaine Fetty's like, "What are you doing, young buck? Listen, you can't do this after the whistle. We don't play that way in Chicago." No, Jermaine, get the fuck out of here. Tevin was doing exactly what he should have did, and you're the one that made it worse.
Right, 100%.
You think that shit's gonna? What do you think is gonna happen when Caleb gets hit late? Where do you think Joe Tooney's gonna be?
He's gonna be over there.
Yeah, you think Darnell Wright's gonna come over and pull Tooney off and say, "Hey, oh man, yeah, we don't do that here." Think that's gonna happen? No.
That's a really good point in, a bookmark in the history of the Bears. It's a showcase of how soft they have identified players and culture. It continued to happen. And I'll just be honest with you. The likes of a Hail Mary happening were next to nothing. There's plenty of coaching errors and finger pointing and a huge letdown. But if that deflates your drive on a season, then you have the weakest culture locker room I have ever seen.
Phil, it should have been the impetus for more wins.
It should have been.
It should have galvanized the fucking locker room.
Exactly.
We can't let this happen anymore. And they
None
had
of them.
Nobody.
No one held this dude accountable.
Polls,
pointed fingers.
were the leader of it.
Exactly. That's what shit trickles downhill. I've been around football my whole life. People get upset. I have been right about so much. I can't even remember how much I've been right about. But one thing I could tell you is what Shane just said is what real coaches, leaders, GMs, and teams do. They rise from the mistake. Oh, fuck that. You got knocked down. How do you get up? Do you get up punching? Or do you no mas? That's what they did. And I had many people get upset with me.
Do you want to address this?
I think it could.
Same shit.
I think it could be both ways, depending on.
Maybe you're sick.
What's the situation, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what's the situation?
It all trickles.
We're not all as regular as you are, Bill.
Right.
Okay?
Bill's got a lot of fiber.
Only solid shits for me. That's it.
A lot of fiber.
These
Long,
guys don't know
thick
what real
turds,
shit
that's
looks
it.
like.
Just it sucks because when I see a guy that isn't a leader at the head coach, again, football is full of statements and definitions. A lot of them aren't cliches. People say them as such because they've grown to share the truth. This isn't old school football. I'm watching today on a reel, a first grade AAU basketball team talking shit. They're first grade. I'm embarrassed for this whole country and world watching these little kids play basketball, talking shit to one another, pushing people. Like, what? There's no accountability and leadership and learning. Games should be learned. That's where you have to go. Everyone's touting the St. John's coach. What's his name? Rick Pitino coming out and speaking the truth. That's what it should be right there. Accountability. I don't give a fuck how much money you make. Sit your ass on the bench. When times are tough, you should be rising to the occasion for the toughest. That's what Grady Jackson's talking about. Instead, we're being led by a bunch of flip-flop frauds like Swifty and fucking Kyle Brandt and the next fucking flip-flopper that's more worried about being British right and what the crowd says than having a true analytical stance on something. Never shied away from my stance on Tevin Jenkins should be a tackle, or that I thought Cole Kmet was soft and doesn't run his routes properly. I don't shy away. I call everything. Charles Leno, speed bump, fucking Charles. I showed the fucking world. This network stands on the truth. We don't fucking flip-flop daily. You want to, let's show me the fucking tape of Calvin Banks being piss poor in pass pro. Show me that fucking, don't write that sentence. Show me it. Show me it. It doesn't exist. Show me where Campbell's arms impair him to block. Show me that fucking tape. Every fucking one of you. Todd McFucking Dick Boy Shea to Matt Pussy Ass Miller. I don't care. ESPN ain't gonna have you on the show, Phil, because you call everybody out and you swear, you and Shane, we're living in a world of frauds. We refuse promotions, sponsorships, because no one's gonna change the football truth on this network. Nobody. I don't give a fuck who they are. I'll stop doing this shit. It's embarrassing. It's unbelievable that we can't recognize all of these players, all of fans that have played high school, Pop Warner, college, or NFL football. You can't handle the truth. Come on.
Dig in and be a basketball player. Dig in. Every time you miss a shot, your game deflates. We don't care about your missed shots. Play defense. You guys keep blowing opportunity upon opportunity upon opportunity. You're like children with bad things happening. Instead of digging in and be tougher, you wilt. Where is your toughness? Where have you guys been raised that you're so weak mentally that you just give up when something doesn't go right for you? Don't you know what adversity is all about? That's the game of life, not the game of basketball. You don't get down when things go wrong. You dig in and get tougher. Your whole life's going to be adversity. Learn how to deal with it.
100%. All these kids are getting
we all
paid.
just get along, Phil. I mean, you guys are just so salty.
I'll give anybody, give this Jedi Jada a fucking link. I don't know. I'm ranting. I'm fucking speaking the most real shit you'll ever hear in your life, Jedi. Because it's the truth. What the Chicago Bears were is a cliche of softness. What was the acronym for softness? Eberflus. The team is a reflection of a head coach. Period. End of story. The head coach sets the temperament and tone. You can't, on one hand, sit back and admire Jimmy Johnson, Don Shula, Mike Ditka, Dan Campbell, Sean Payton, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, and then turn around and look and think soft. You can't. Get your shit together. Get the shit out your ears and start typing this. What's his name again?
Rick
Sports
Pitino?
Mockery. Eric Lambert.
Eric
Type this.
Lambert, yeah.
Team is a reflection of a head coach, Eric.
Always
a guy
has
on
been.
your roster right now who could be, we'll just take Dexter. He's been surrounded by a bunch of excuse makers. How does that help him in his journey of the NFL? Took it upon himself to work out alone, get in shape, and change the narrative, and it still wasn't good enough. Some people don't know if he could. Now you have a guy like Grady Jarrett comes in, brings a temperament, a teaching of the process, a teaching of how to win, how to counter when they're running outside zone. How do I counter their first step? How do I deliver the blow properly? Come on. This is what it's all about. You get these types of guys. You get a guy like Ben Johnson. It doesn't matter.
That's the thing, man. You know, Phil, forever on this network. I mean, we started this in 2020, summer of 2020. When you were talking, you know, even when on the very first show when we were talking about it, you know, you got to have a head coach that is animated and gets fired up like that, and people just automatically assume you're talking about a guy that's gonna, you know, break the chalkboard in the locker room and dump shit over. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's being able to talk open and honest, no matter how much it hurts your players to hear it. What he said there is 100% true. They needed to hear that. That doesn't mean that Rick Pitino's an asshole. It doesn't. 95% of athletes that are worth their weight in salt that have done anything in the league want to be coached like that. They want to be held accountable. How many times do we hear that on this team last year? You heard it from the number one pick in the draft. I want my coach to get up in my face. I want him to hold me accountable. All these guys said it. Eberflus didn't believe in it. Ryan Poles let it slide. Kevin Warren let it slide. And if we're saying it's a reflection of something, It's a reflection of the McCaskey family because that's who they are.
Well,
They didn't want this.
I would add one more. Players let it slide. You had 8 supposed leaders, and they were letting it. And there might have been a power pull with Eberflus, but still had to have somebody that was going to step up in that locker room above everybody else. And I just don't think you had anybody.
Yeah, Ivan, you didn't. And Shane's right. We were ridiculed out the gate. Out the gate. This isn't. Go look back. Go watch all the other shows on that same. When I was calling it soft knocks, and I was you're not allowing swearing to be. Oh, stop! You guys are so negative. You're just. I want to have my son be able to watch it without any. Shut the fuck up. I want my son to see real life. The Bears are who Denny Green thought they were under McCaskey's rule. Give Kevin Warren some flowers because he changed the spending to understand you're going to have to spend for a good coach. You can't have these crusty old fucks coming in here, a Corsi and
We
pulling
figured that out in 2025.
Exactly.
Let that sink in.
It's just embarrassing how all these shows rewrite flip-flop daily. There is none of that. None of it. But we're going to get pushed into a corner. Well, I'm going to fight back from the corner because I am not going to go down. I am the Arturo Gatti of Chicago Bears analysis. Shane is the fucking Mike Tyson. Ivan will be the fucking Marvin Hagler.
Duval.
And all those little Duval fucks think you're going to back into a corner. No. Here's the reality. The Bears needed to build the interior. You have guys like Olin Kreutz coming on here. Guys like Matt Waldman. We could go down the whole list of guests that we've had uncomfortable situations where they were talking the reality of what they thought the problem was with the Bears was, and it was completely the opposite of what we've been preaching. And it's just at this point when a real coach sets the tone and now you're backing it up with a direction. The map is being drawn out. The map is being drawn out. We're building from the inside. We're getting alphas in here. We're going to protect our quarterback and we're going to run the motherfucking ball. And we're going to play great defense. Because guess what the run does? What have I always said? The run opens the pass. This isn't the NBA. Everyone shoot threes. Let's get in shotgun 90% of the time and throw the ball around. We got Caleb. Phil, you said Caleb was going to change all this. Well, effectively he has. Because he got rid of a coach in the season who now everyone knows how completely incompetent Matt Eberflus was. But when we were saying it, it was we're just being negative. Oh, those guys on that network. Just pinpoint any of these shows in Chicago. No.
Phil, did you happen to see the tweet that I shared? I think it might have been in the text thread with Yumi and Cap. But when
yeah.
This is actually let me get the name, give the guy credit for doing this. It's his name is Jay at Bears and BJ's. But he focused in on when
Ivan gave this up so he can't watch.
Yeah, because they hurt his jaw.
He's trying to remember what we're talking
What are they
about.
talking about? He's over there. He's eating a cheese stick right now. Now he remembers.
Does he remember
I'm
yet?
not sure. I don't. Maybe he's not even listening. Is he froze?
No,
He's
he's
there.
moving his head.
He is. But anyways, at Bears and BJ's focuses in on Ryan Poles when Ben Johnson is talking about his new offensive lineman being a little nasty, doing some dirty business. But this is actually pretty great. Watch this.
We want some tough, some gritty, some dirty individuals, and we feel pretty good about the two guys we got. Smart is a word that comes to mind.
That's pretty fucking great. But hey,
he's proud.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he got some fucking help. Ben Johnson's like, yeah, we'll go get this guy because Ryan, you're not doing so great in that department.
I don't understand the world of these. You know, Ryan Cox and Shane send me these hot takes. And I don't care. I'll give you I'll mention your name. Because it's so embarrassing that you're coming out with negativity towards, like, what is positive for you? What is positive? I just can't understand how you can take Grady Jarrett and be negative. I can't. I don't know a world. I could never imagine a world of Caleb Williams being a negative.
Yeah, Phil,
Until
I mean,
now.
even on Grady Jarrett, I just think a lot of people instantly go to sack production and see his age and see that the Bears paid a lot of money for him. And they're like, oh, well, why is Atlanta? Why this guy just got released in Atlanta? I know dumbass Chad Forbes, who's on Twitter all the time, the noted Green Bay Packers lover and Bears hater. He's like, the Bears could have just traded a 7th round draft pick to Atlanta for this guy. You know what I mean? And got him for cheaper. But whatever, man. It's the Bears paid a pretty penny, but they needed to have somebody like Grady Jarrett with the leadership, with the alpha qualities, that the cupboard was bare. Tell me, who is the leader on the Chicago Bears? Don't you remember having
Grady Jarrett?
Don't you remember having this talk with Josh Woods years ago when we were on the other network? Remember that? Well, who is it? Who's the leader on offense? Josh. And he's like, geez, that's a good question. And he couldn't answer.
I gotta say, do you remember who he answered? I remember.
I actually don't. It wasn't anybody impressive.
Wide receiver.
I don't remember.
Allen Robinson.
Oh, was that who it was?
He's like,
yeah, maybe A-Rob.
Yeah, maybe A-Rob. That's how he said it. He couldn't. And here we are years later.
Yes, please, Ryan Cox. That would make me very, very happy.
God, don't get me excited. BJ's and Bears. Oh, my.
Yeah.
Get that fullback to Chicago. Olin's quote on the network: the further you get away from football, the further you get away from football. From winning. Don't pretend like you have sources either around me or tape. Brandon Fortney, you're pathetic, bro, on Keeping It 100 Facebook. You've tagged me in your patheticness. I've completely allowed your atrocious takes to be revealed to the world because everybody can tell you don't know a damn dick about football. So when you call Kelvin Banks, Will Campbell, what was his latest? There was somebody else. Those are all guards. You have proven you have not watched one rep. You ain't a patron, I'll tell you that.
because you haven't watched any college tape.
Going to tell you shit in your hat and get the hell off the field.
I've forgotten more football than you, Brandon. You're an embarrassment. It's pathetic.
Yeah, whatever.
Membu was the other one. And you know what? Membu, you might be right. That's it.
Breaking news. We'll have more on that tomorrow night.
We'll have more on that
Draft Mob
tomorrow night on Draft Mob, the tapeneverlies.com. You want the truth? And then I'm going to show you the truth. And then you can, I'm not going to, you have to agree. Me and Shane aren't going to agree. Me and Ivan aren't going to agree. But it's certainly going to be up there. Shane said to me on the phone, I don't know how people can watch the same tape and come away with different perspectives. I don't get it either.
Wildly different perspectives. That's what gets me. It's like listen, I'm an Alabama fan. You guys know exactly how I feel about Jalen Milroe. And I've talked to people that love him. And I as a quarterback, I'm like, what do you I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Well, Brandon
He's fast as
Thorne
hell.
is wrong. Period. Whoever that, he's an offensive guru, offensive line guy. I think you have mentioned it before. Get him on the show.
Oh yeah, but he's an excellent guy. Listen, just
There's
because
no guard at all in Kelvin Banks Jr.
Listen, but Phil, what our stance on this has been, and there's nothing wrong with it. I don't give a shit. If you think they're a guard, fine. That's great. They'll always bring up the kid from who is that? I'm blanking on Tennessee's pick 2 years ago.
Oh, Skronsky.
Oh,
Skronsky.
And
Shane, you and I were saying he's a guard.
We said he was a guard, right? But
we wouldn't.
And it's the same way. Maybe Will Campbell will end up being an elite level guard. We'll see. If I'm drafting Will Campbell, I'm putting him at tackle and letting him fail his way inside. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And I happen to believe that he would play offensive tackle very, very well. I'm totally on board with you there.
If you have gone,
but this is the point where people, and listen, I think Brandon Thorne is excellent at what he does. But you brought up Fortney. Fortney will hear Matt Miller or somebody degrade Will Campbell. He'll hear it on SportsCenter, and now that's his gospel.
Right, he's not watching any tape.
That's fine.
I don't agree at all with Thorne. Not even in the slightest. Kelvin Banks will end up being the best offensive tackle in this entire draft. You can put that in the pocket. I have not seen. I mean, Laramie Tunsil had feet like this and ability. I mean, we had big Steve Edwards, former offensive lineman with the Bears, and my father, Coach O, who is the best offensive line coach I've ever seen in my life, drooling over Kelvin Banks and Will Campbell at tackle. They also love a surprise guy that no one's talking about. But you need to become a patron for that. We watched Simmons. We broke every tackle down. The last tackle we're breaking down is tomorrow night. We will break down Membu.
Armand Membu, offensive tackle from Mizzou,
who played right tackle. So with guys like Muck who think this guy is not this and this guy is not, you can't do that. You can't say it when you see it. You can't say it when you see it. I'm going to try to get Charles Grant done. I just have had a lot of stuff come up.
But
Yeah,
I will get it done when we
Yeah,
get
we'll pivot back to some other guys a little bit later, but we've been on the offensive line train here for a couple of weeks straight, and we got a lot of other exciting players to get into at different positions. But we will circle around to some other guys later.
Imagine someone playing left tackle for their entire career, and then someone says they can't do it. That's just pathetic. Like, where is your scouting? What tape are you watching? You can't. He can't. He can't. I would put Skoronsky at guard, but I definitely try him at left tackle, but I would never take him if I was the Bears.
Yeah, we
I
said
would take Darnell Wright.
Yeah, we said
The Bears took Darnell Wright, by the way.
Yep.
And they passed on Skoronsky.
Just
And
go
they have
back
the worst
to every
offensive line coach ever.
Yeah, go back to every show leading up to the draft where we said the same thing.
Well, go back to that our network, the only one calling out Chris Morgan. Now it's convenient. 670, ESPN. We have people at ESPN defending the motherfucker in December. No, Chris Morgan was pathetic. Always said it, because guess what said it? Not friends. Not my friends. The tape said it.
But even like this, with what Muck and Mike are going back and forth in the chat about this, it's a fact he won't be a left tackle. Bet that people in the NFL make dumb decisions all the fucking time with that shit. You're talking about a franchise here with Kyle Long.
Kyle Long, let's put him at right guard.
Well, yeah, but then he plays very, very well there. Do you remember after his rookie season? And what happened? What did the Bears do?
Moved him to left.
Then they moved him. And then what happened the next year? Then they
Put him
moved
at
him.
right tackle.
Only in Chicago. That shit happens all the time. Jason Peters was a tight end at one point. Jason Peters.
Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer.
Can you imagine doing draft mob then? And we said, we think Peters could be a great offensive. He's a tight end. Are you kidding me? He played tight end at Arkansas. There's no way. It's my point. You're never gonna change everybody's mind, because tape is not watching highlights on YouTube. And I'm not saying that we're always right either. But a lot of people that watch tape will not go against public consensus. It's like believing in a player and then coming onto a show and changing your thoughts on that player because 75% of the chat wants somebody else. You can't be like that. You can't. Remember the narrative about Caleb Williams, how he was a worse quarterback after Notre Dame? Do we remember all of that?
Mm-hmm.
There was a network out there showing you how he was not a worse quarterback.
It was only one network, by the way.
That's what I said, a network. Yeah.
Well, I was just backing you up.
Yeah.
I can listen to certain music and love it, and somebody else have different taste. And that's okay. But one thing that we can't do is watch the same tape and come away and say, nah, that guy can't do it. There is no can't. Just isn't. It's already been done.
I have Muck hit me up at Wazram on Twitter. I'll send you a link. You can come on and debate it live on air.
Bring the tape with you too.
You do it right now.
At
Wazram, send me a DM. I'll send you the link. You can come on and state your case. We're not going to gang up on you and anything like that.
I want to ask this question though. He says, because I have an opinion. Now, don't play the victim now.
I think he's responding. I think he's responding to the chat. I think because he's having back and forth
for him. All I'm saying is don't play the victim when you come out and say someone is not a left tackle. Let's bet on that. He can't play left tackle in the NFL. That's not an opinion. That's a statement that you're creating.
Ask Nino. Nino's lived this life. He did it. He was a little slow there, finally getting on the show. But hit me up, Muck Muck. At Wazram. I have a feeling Muck Muck's next comment is going to say,
on.
I have a feeling his next comment's going to be, I don't have Twitter. I don't believe in that shit. That's usually what the move is.
Or you can always go on live and not have your video on.
Yeah, that I just defended you there, Muck Muck. I literally just said that. I didn't think that you were responding to us. I think you were responding to the. But do it. Send me a link, man. We embrace debate. Come on, and we'll talk about it. Maybe you'll enlighten us. Those things that we didn't see.
Trail treats and I
that,
can't play left tackle.
That is the truth. Trail treats. Yeah, he's a heavy-legged waist bender, bubble butt. Yeah, he cannot play left tackle. We've seen the tape.
I was from a place where I always pointed out Charles Leno, right? But Shane can attest, and real fans can attest. I always put the caveat underneath saying there's no doubt that Charles Leno is an athlete. He's in the fucking NFL. The Walrus can play. He just doesn't care. He just doesn't work his craft. He doesn't get stronger. When your best attribute is being touted by the likes of Hogan Johns for he's there every week, the best ability is availability, then that's not how you win championships. So if your job is to look at tape and call it out and watch it and teach it and show it and see it and telestrate it and watch it at least 700 more times than Rajneesh, and then someone tells you they're watching tape and you know they're full of shit, that's why I get fired up, because I know it ain't true. It wasn't true that Matt Nagy was a good coach. It wasn't true that Chris Morgan's a good offensive line coach. And Brian Baldinger said it, so it must be true. Turns out Brian Baldinger and Chris Morgan are fucking good friends. There's your analyst. That's the problem in this world. And the Chicago Bear fan base is like no other in this world. I don't think any other fan base has a show like this that proves it and that talks to fans. You see, most of these shows, their producers say, ignore Muck Muck. Oh, don't respond to this guy. Oh, Mike Hall just said the same thing 62 times. Ignore that. Just go on with the show. We have built this differently. So if it makes some people uncomfortable, that truth is going to be the potion, the ingredient most important in the potion of a totion, then I'm sorry.
But just like this, what Jazz is saying, sometimes the tape doesn't translate, Phil. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. You can say a player doesn't project to be good, great, star. But where you're falling off the board, you can say that they don't project to be good, great, or a star. We're saying you can't say that he can't play.
Exactly.
This is the debate. Will Campbell can't play because his arms are 5/8 of an inch too short. He can't play left tackle.
Let me.
And he played fantastic in the SEC at left tackle. Everybody has doubted him. His arms have been the same length the entire time. Let him prove it and then fail his way inside. Is he going to be worse than Braxton Jones?
No.
Let him prove it.
Jesus, where is that fucking? Where's the article? Well, I can read some of the excerpt of the article, but I want to say this because there's a lot of shitty people in this world. All you have to do is look at some of the comments to recognize, some people are soft or they get their feelings hurt. Listen, we break Bullet's balls. I break Guy Finley's balls. I break Alex H. Anybody that disagrees with what is being taught or spoken on over and over, and they come in with a different thought, I might break your balls. But it's not in the direction with which you you can't be soft.
Right. And I just I brought up Jazz's comment, and I'm glad that he replied again. I'll speak for myself. I know Banks played tackle at a high level in the SEC. I don't think all his skills will translate to a degree that warrants a first-round pick, which I completely, but listen, I completely disagree. I completely disagree with that. But this is the point, and this is where it's the same thing with Caleb Williams, Phil. If somebody heard that he's like you've used the generational label on Caleb, and that's fine. I think using a label like that is foolish. But everybody, once they hear that, or once they hear Calvin Banks top 10, they're assuming that this guy who just turned 21 on March 10th, he just turned 21. Guess what? He's going to come into the NFL and have his bumps. He's not going to come in at 21 and be a finished product. He's not going to be. There's going to be bumps in the road. That's the thing.
I'm old enough to remember Tristan Wirfs is a guard.
Yeah.
I said it from the jump. That's a fucking left tackle. I was criticized for Lane Johnson. He can't play tackle. And that was years ago, obviously. It is pathetic. This is another lie. Banks has slow feet. Call Big Steve up right now and ask Banks. My reason for Banks being so high is because he has the best feet of every offensive lineman in the draft. So I don't know what Sam Romano's cheese is watching, but it ain't the tape, and he isn't a patron. I could tell you that, because not one person is going to watch Draft Mob. Go sign up right now, Sam. Go right there, and you could watch the show. Leave this show. I don't give a fuck. And watch the tape right there. The tapeneverlies.com. Every tackle. Zabel. We did Wyatt
Millum.
We did Simmons. We did,
and it's not a it's not a highlight tape.
This is games. We did Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker is a guard, and he's not that good as what's being touted. I showed you why. He's a second-round guard. I thought through watching all his tapes, there's so much inconsistency. Go watch why. It's not a highlight show. It's the coach's tape. And there's a lot of people that will regurgitate or just move a couple players around. Remember we caught Matt Miller, DJ from the NFL Network comes out with his top 50. This is years ago, so I can't remember who it was.
Are we talking about the same Matt Miller that said that Derrick Henry couldn't play running back in the NFL and would have to move to fullback?
Had a debate with me when I was on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because I had Derrick Henry as my number one back that year. And he chimes in
that he's only a fullback. He's going to be a full. And then he writes an article about how he's only a fullback. Yeah, that Matt Miller. But this one is a showcase that he has this. DJ has, I forget which player it was, Shane. You'd probably, or Ryan Cox would remember. He wasn't in Matt Miller's top 100, right? Like 3 days ago. Shane did the investigation with somebody. DJ comes out with his top 50, and this guy's like number 9.
Oh, yeah.
Top 50.
Yeah, he
and
moved
then the
him.
very next day, guess what? He moved his to number 12 on his list. Yeah, you're watching all this tape, bro. Got a job with ESPN. It's pathetic, the people that are out there.
Yeah, man, I get it. And it listen, like we talked about, and everybody's gonna have their own. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I'm just saying everybody might have their own thought process, and you don't have to believe in a player. You don't have to believe in Kelvin Banks, but I've been doing this a long time. I have my shares of hits. I have my shares of misses. Same with Phil. One thing that I have found out, and I'm going to repeat myself here, is that people are afraid to speak out.
We will let go a guy.
95 people that are saying, "Oh, this dude is fantastic," and then if you watch the tape and put in the actual work, and you're like, "Man, I don't see what these guys are seeing." That's different if you think it. It's a whole nother thing to go on to a show exactly like right here. We've invited plenty of people on this show. Plenty. Ninos showed up. That's about it.
1 out of 50.
Yeah.
1 out of 50.
So credit to Ninos.
100%.
But it's different when the lights are on and you got to put your face and your name to it. It's just like the Caleb stuff. We said, "Oh, Phil said he's generational." He's a rookie quarterback. Guess who struggled as a rookie? Peyton Manning did. Made some really dumb
John
plays.
Elway did. Troy
They
Aikman
all
did.
have. Because you want to know what the deal is? People are more concerned about being right than actually doing the work.
See,
and putting themselves out there.
I work the opposite. I want to do the work so I know when I put my name to it. And this is the mission statement here. I'm not speaking on anybody unless I've done it. So I'll tell you, hey, I don't know about this receiver yet because I haven't really watched him enough. I'm not going to.
But
yes.
But Phil, this even goes beyond what we're.
I did say Josh Allen. I got attacked by Greg Gabriel back then.
Yeah. And it's just, yeah, exactly. I was a Deshaun Kaiser fan, and I fucking hate Notre Dame. And I still believe if he didn't get drafted by Cleveland, he would have been in a better situation. I think that there was a lot of talent there. But that's the thing. Have I ever went away from that and not admitted it? I've talked about it a ton. I've talked about it. I'm not going to sit up here and say that nobody was talking about Tyson Bagent having legitimate NFL skills as a quarterback. Who else was talking about him? I know I did.
Just you. I know there's no pride, and this goes full circle, and people get offended or whatever. But if you can't go on your radio show on ESPN 1000 and put a perspective on what Caleb Williams had to do, or on ESPN in the morning or on 670, and you're the voice reaching out morning, daily, repeating it over and over and over, you have a responsibility to do the work and put it into proper perspective. when Chris Canty goes out there and tries to attack Hoodie.
It's all clickbait, man. It's all it
It's
is.
just pathetic.
It's all clickbait.
But I'm just saying, there's people on ESPN that are looking at Caleb Williams and they're saying, well, the numbers are fucking pretty close to Jaden.
Comment
right?
of the night by our guy Chubbs. That's the truth. People are scared to say that.
Exactly.
You know what? I'm not sure.
I'm doing the work for you. I'm doing the work
true.
for you. I've seen guys fully take my take 10 seconds later and post it as their own. And I just laugh. They don't give me credit. I'm talking big time guys, not just a guy that watches the show. I'm talking exactly what I said.
And just so everybody knows, Matt Waldman will be here. It'll be in April. He's feverishly pounding out pages to the RSP. But yeah, he will be here probably a couple of different times on Keeping It 100 and Draft Mob.
Yes. Two things I want to say. I'm going to defend Caleb Williams again because I don't know how many times we're going to have to, but we do need to, because I think the truth absolutely means something in this world full of lies, full of bullshit and politics and bullshit on top of more bullshit. Caleb Williams comes into Chicago in a bad situation. We had a GM that was not doing good, and I don't know where I feel about Ryan Poles yet. And we have a terrible coach, but we knew on this network, and we're not the only ones that knew this, that it was time that you knew Eberflus had to go with that first overall pick, and we knew you were picking Caleb Williams, and we knew you were trading struggling Justin out of town. You knew it, but you decided to keep this pathetic shoe salesman on, and it completely destroyed what it is that you said you were trying to do. Your narrative blew up in your face. You're being George, Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham, all of them that decided to keep this clown on in his culture, despite all of the other things that have been listed, the defensive guard, but they fire the guy in season. How many rookies have to deal with a soft-ass, terrible offensive coordinator on top of that? I'm telling you right now, there's zero. None. You don't have to deal with, there's guys that come into the league, they got to deal with a shitty OC. There's none that I could think of that have the shitty OC, the shitty head coach, the shitty situation, finger pointing, softness, a terrible offensive line, people jogging routes. We designed a fucking whole game to get Gerald Everett the ball. This really happened. But
not a whole game, Phil. An entire training camp.
This happened. And you're sitting here looking at this kid in any kind of fair perspective. It's pathetic. Any high school coach would have gotten 9 wins out of that team. With this kid playing quarterback, he don't release the ball soon enough. Where? You have 5 plays you could show. Oh, he should have hit. I could give you 25 of Jaden Daniels should have hitting, but he had a whole team around him
And a head coach.
and a head coach and an OC that covered up those 25 plays with get up off the ground toughness, clarity.
We said that, Mike. He's been very, very open about that.
So
you
you
take
want
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh over Johnson? Yes. But he's ruining my point. I don't know what nationality Kapura is, but Kapura, you're ruining my point here. The perspective here is the land of the lost still had a rookie quarterback, name one previous, that broke the franchise record,
broke an NFL rookie record, and you have people in this town wanting in season, even now, as dumb as it sounds, wanting him to throw more interceptions. And I don't have to go down that road because Shane has said it many times before, because everybody knows what would have transpired. All because you decided to keep a head coach. It's as simple as that. You decided to keep this guy, Eberflus, who now, Barstool, Big Cat, this one, everyone could clown him. They weren't clowning him. They weren't clowning him. They were joking, having interviews. Let's get some honey from Eberflus, whatever the fuck. We were here pissed off. And Caleb suffered for it. You could say whatever it is you want. You already had your preconceived notions about the kid.
Right. And Jedi, to what your point is, yes, the weapons were here. And if the scheme sucks and where we go become a patron, where we have showed you where Keenan slacked, where Cole slacked, where DJ Moore slacked, because there was so much bullshit going on way back in OTAs.
Plenty of guys that had fucking
Ryan Poles came
weapons.
out. Ryan Poles came out himself and said, "Yeah, we skipped some of the steps that we shouldn't have. That's on us." That's when players go to the GM and say, "Yeah, this OC, this was in the first week of training camp. This isn't the guy." Players telling Poles that. Telling Eberflus that. They fucked up. Players knew it. They didn't believe in him. But
there's plenty
the players are guilty too. Yes, there's lots where Caleb needs to improve on. Caleb is a rookie quarterback in the fucking NFL that had 2 head coaches, 3 offensive coordinators, a horrible offensive line coach, a horrible offensive line in front of him. Complete chaos. Name me one rookie quarterback that had that.
None.
Other than him. Name one.
None. See, you're already decided what it is you want. And I can guarantee Anthony Pagent, my other Anthony, or Ryan Cox, or Bill Tobins, or Jeff McLaughlin could go, okay, what did Justin Herbert have as a rookie? There's plenty of rookies that had just as much, if not more talent than Caleb, with his shitty running backs, a shitty tight end. I'm sorry. That's what it is. So let's stop with the bullshit minutia of it looked good on paper. It just wasn't there. He had nobody to protect him. Up front, not an OC. And it's the same thing that happened to guys like, and they bashed the kid from Yale who gets thrust out there into the fucking, was it Thursday night football when we played Washington?
Yeah, that was his first career start. Yeah.
He hadn't played all training camp, all this. That
had no offseason, Phil.
Had no offseason
as a rookie.
So let's thrust him out there, and that's okay because that's his job. But to not put a chip in third down situations, in identifying play that we know he's going to have help. That's what good coaches do.
It's easier just to say that he sucks, Phil, rather than being supplied with the facts that we supplied patrons with and showed them.
I'm listening to Shay Snorling say he's the biggest bust ever. It's the biggest unfair treatment ever. See, I fight for truth. I'm not fighting for Caleb because I said it. I'm fighting because that's what the tape showed me. Like, what are we watching? I just spent a whole season, 2-hour breakdowns. Hour and a half breakdown of Caleb Williams and the Bears, just showing you this is not blocked correctly. This is pathetic. Look at DJ Moore rounding his route. This is a levels concept, and you got 3 guys in the same area. This is happening in the NFL. For fuck's sake, looks like a JV team. And then I got to hear, Baldy says this guy's a good offensive line. And then, that's his buddy. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, where did Chris Morgan get hired?
From Pittsburgh, for being fired from
Atlanta. No. Where has he been hired since he got let go in Chicago? Where is he?
Towson State, Shane. Towson State.
Is that really where he is? Oh, I was going to say.
Speaking of
Phil, is there a litany of top flight offensive line coaches in the NFL?
No.
So if he was amazing at his job, would he be 100% in the NFL?
You think Pete Carroll wouldn't make the call and get that motherfucker? Well, you need an offensive line coach. You don't think these trust me. And Chris, that's all I'm asking. Because at the end of the day, when you watch it with me, you're going to walk away and I'm going to teach you something. Like, wow, I know. But you have to be able to admit it. You can't just stand there pretending. Yeah. It's okay to not know. There's nothing embarrassing.
Morgan is the assistant offensive line coach for the Denver Broncos.
See, I knew Gordon would get everything.
But my point stands, though.
100%. If he was the real deal, he'd be the head offensive line coach somewhere. Like this guy, Dante Scarnecchia.
You think if Stoutland got let go in Philly, that he'd be an assistant someplace?
No.
On the offensive line?
Do you think if Dante Scarnecchia came out of retirement, he'd be an assistant? Only if he chose not to be.
Who are you going to listen to? Scarnecchia or Matt Miller? Take it away, Phil.
So Scarnecchia, talking about arm length. Now this, to me, and the people that I hang out in circles with, is the king of the crown wearer of offensive line coach. You want evidence, just go watch the New England Patriots in their dynasty to watch their offensive line transformations each and every year.
Jacksonville with Duval.
Dante Scarnecchia, when asked about arm length of a left tackle, he said that shit is way overrated. He said, when asked over the phone this week if he still felt the same way about all those players that didn't have long enough arms, he offered up this. Sitting alongside him watching video of pass protectors doing their thing, he explained would better illustrate the points he wanted to make, saying, a picture, he said, a tape is worth 1,000 words. So he began to roll the tape and show short arms like Wynn and Slater that rocket out their punch on tape can overcome the 5/8 inch that you're concerning yourself about, or you think you know offensive line. You don't. It's pathetic. Campbell is not a guard. He's a guard when you've decided that you have no idea but to do what Shane said. Just join the crowd. Because everybody else is saying it. My analysis is going to say it. This guy has great feet, power, and athleticism. He's taken on the likes of one of the best, if not the best, young pass rusher in the NFL that my father said he would come in and tell you to take a shit in your hat and get the hell off the field. And Will Anderson. He's gone against Will Anderson and played his ass off. He's gone against NFL players weekly, doing it at the left tackle position. What do you have to do? What do you have to do? It's embarrassing. So when Scarnecchia calls it bullshit and way overrated, you trust that guy. Trust me. Trust Big Steve. Trust Olin Kreutz. Does it help? Some players it does. I've seen players with the longest reach of Fetty suck. Frank Omiel, what was his reach? 35 inches? Did that make him a better left tackle? No. Do that fucking study. Stop. It's embarrassing. Skoronsky didn't have feet. Didn't know how to anchor well enough to play left tackle. So that's why he needed to move inside the guard. And thus he did. That's what I said. He would. And he did. This dude, spoiler alert, you'll see Daniel Jeremiah had him going to the Bears a week ago. Membu. I would literally turn the show off and have a hard time rooting for the Bears if they ever took Membo at freaking 10. And I'll show you the tape of why. And then you could tell me if I'm bringing it up. That's right, Gerald. Performance over politics. I got no agent. We've had agents offer to pay us to say nice things about their players. True story. Won't do it. Now, for some people, they take that high road and they go up the chart. They go up the map. I don't know how and why that happens, but I'm not in that echo chamber, nor is Shane. I mean, we had some drag out debates over fucking Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
And it never changes the friendship. It never changes the dialogue.
No,
it
but
never
that's-
changes the echo chamber.
That's
Here.
the fucking point completely right there, Phil. When you are analyzing a player, if you can't have heated debate,
thanks, Ken,
then that's an issue. It's been very rare here at TTNL where we've been in unison on guys. We were in unison on Caleb.
Yep.
You, me, Cars, and Ivan. We were in unison on Darnell Wright. But beyond that, we haven't been. There's lots of guys that we have.
Like,
Phil,
for example,
how many DMs have you and I gotten the morning after a show if we had a heated debate? Are you guys cool? Is everything all right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it happens all the time.
And it isn't scripted. It's just,
we can talk about what we're.
It's
never
like
talk
this.
about.
When Emery Hunt came on talking about David Montgomery as just a guy. That was his quote. Just a guy. And everybody in the audience and in the world who is a fan of TTNL worldwide knew in their heart there's no way Phil can let that go past the goal. I can't. So if I just agreed with him in that moment, what would this show be? Same with me and Olin debating about Mustafa. We didn't see it. Does he still love me and I love him? 100%. We just didn't agree. Didn't. And I never say, oh, that Olin doesn't know. I respect Olin's opinion more than 99% of people talking football. That's
So we've had people in the chat say we shouldn't listen to what Olin said because of what unfolded at CHGO with Olin. Yeah, we're not going to listen to what he has to say about an NFL player. It's crazy.
I always say there's two sides to a story, and then there's the truth. Stop. I mean, Olin Kreutz should be in the Hall of Fame. Olin Kreutz should be in Hallis Hall. And if you're defending your kid
and you're defending your integrity, and sometimes you get emotional, that's okay. I'm going to be better for it. You know?
I love this comment by Ben, because somebody earlier said, all the pressure in the world's on Caleb Williams to finally show out in year 2. Imagine that. But Ben says, why is it put up or shut up for the Bears and Caleb? For Justin Fields, he just needs time before he can get an honest take on him. Why the negative narrative about certain players and not others? Yeah, I mean, Justin's heading into year 5 on team number 3. You guys got to be open-minded and give this kid some time.
The Bears ruined him, Shane.
Caleb's had 17 games, guys. I mean, how many does he need? Do we need to push this to an 18th game? It's crazy.
And I will say this, no one has had it worse. Because isn't it the worst when just look, your boy or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever friend. So look at football in a different way. Try to do it like this. Your friend is dating this girl that is cheating on him. Are you the friend that tells the dude? Or are you the one that just let him figure it out on his own? Like, that's the difference in the shows of the Chicago Bears for me.
So, Jazz, all right, so you're taking offense to what I just said. So answer me this. What should Caleb's numbers as a rookie have been to make you feel comfortable about him going into year 2? What should they have been? Taking everything into consideration. I'm holding Caleb to a super high standard. So is Phil. We see the talent. But where should they have been to make Jazz feel comfortable? So you had 20 touchdowns, 6 picks, 3,500 yards. Where should they have been?
Where were Peyton Manning?
Was 20 and 6 and 3,500 as a rookie with everything that was going on. And yes, he had moments where he didn't play well as a rookie. I get it. But people are losing belief in that with those numbers. And to Ben's point, you're going to believe in Justin Fields figuring it. What's the list of quarterbacks that have the light has came on in year 5 on team number 3? Let me ask you a question, Phil. We talked about this. If you're Justin Fields, what organization would you rather play for? Pittsburgh or the New York Jets?
Pittsburgh.
All day.
Yeah. Pittsburgh wasn't in on him.
No, Pittsburgh wanted him back. They wanted him back. He wanted assurances from Pittsburgh that he was going to be the unquestioned starter.
So he's soft.
That's what he wanted.
Why?
But you go to the chaos of if you did Justin ever get upset with the media in Chicago? We have. Have fun in New York with that. I live here. I see it. It ain't New York's media ain't Chicago.
Oh,
it's
no.
worse.
It's gonna be bad. They don't have a cult of Fields in the New York Jets. They have a wait and see. But listen, all the best to him. I cheer for the jersey. I do. I just knew, okay, Shane, I still remember you on the phone. And I'm like, Shane, it's just never going to happen. The more tape, I just get more and more frustrated watching it.
But it's just to go back to Caleb, Phil, the number one thing that makes me fucking mental. And listen, I have all the respect in the world for Kurt Warner and where he came from and what he did in his career, and then fell flat and went to the Giants and then resurrected his career again in Arizona. But him and and Carm from CHGO and all of these people, I really need to see him throw more interceptions. That is their nugget of wisdom. Because if he went from 6 to 12, he was going to be a more developed passer. But guess what, Carm? You would have been vilifying him on CHGO because of it, for throwing double-digit interceptions as a rookie. Just like that would have been the net. Do we not remember? Caleb Williams plays too much hero ball at USC. Can he not do that? Is he going to be able to escape that in the NFL? Probably not. Caleb Williams comes to the NFL, 25 and 3,500. You know, we need to see him take a little more chance. We need a little bit more hero ball to see if he can develop. So the narrative is going to change to whatever bullshit you want to spew. So he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. If he threw 20 touchdowns and 18 interceptions, are you better with that? Or is he getting eviscerated on the radio by the experts? We all know the answer. We all know the answer to that.
It's sad if we really pull back and look at the stats, and then you put up Peyton Manning stats, and you look at Peyton's first year as a rookie, and you see 28 interceptions. That eviscerated word that Shane's using would have been the truth here. It's all a staple of what it is that's true versus a false narrative. Don't be the guy, the Bears fan. I know my boy Bob Chimney ain't that is all fired up and agitated with the national media, and then kowtows to some flip-flopping fraud boy on whatever show.
Jazz, every word that comes out of our mouth is not about you. You're feeling sorry for yourself at this point, dude. We're talking generalities with people, with everything. I mean,
thinks it's a show about it.
Right. Yeah.
It's not even your real name, Jazz.
Up live tonight on Keepin' It 100, we will be breaking down every comment from Jazz and twisting his words. No.
We need music for that one. I need one of those like radio to
But why do we get fired up? Because when we talk about when Phil
Why do you guys get fired up?
When Phil says Eric Kramer is fundamentally sound as a quarterback, and when he broke down Andy Dalton and said that Andy Dalton is fundamentally sound like Eric Kramer, and then people poach that like this.
Oh, would you look at this?
Yeah, well,
I broke down 30 minutes or 25 minutes of Andy Dalton. I'll tell you, he's a hell of a lot better than anything we've seen here since Eric Kramer. Fundamentally, that's my truth in the film. And now I don't put my name to anything. I do that on the patron side. But anyway,
2 hours later.
That's all, folks.
Wow, I don't.
Yeah, where did that come from?
My boy Mac Jones signing in San Francisco. That's a good fit. They got the guy they were going to draft. They should have drafted.
Dallas Cowboy fan Logan Frost is in the chat. Dallas got a new linebacker today, Logan. Jack Sanborn going to play for Flus. It's actually a great pickup by Dallas. I'm on Logan's side on this. I'm still shocked the Bears let him walk.
Well, we'll see. I just was in the state of we are going to address you, the fan, the positive one too. You know, but a lot of people just have a AVI and just run their mouths, or they go running back to the next person. or they pretend they don't know who we are. Like, I'll tell you this, everybody in Chicago, all those networks know who the fuck we are. So that is just a showcase of your true colors of being soft.
Phil,
Soft.
I was in Buffalo and the owner of the Chicago Bears, I didn't even see him. Ask my guy Joe, I think, is in the chat. He came a little bit late. I was standing there looking at the field. I turn around and I'm talking to people, and the owner of the Chicago Bears, what did he say? TTNL is here.
Yeah.
They watch.
I
They
have
watch
so
everybody.
many stories. Some I can't share, even on Keeping It 100. But it's pathetic that your show or your take, when you specifically tag me, and now you're becoming a gnat, this fucking fly in the summer on corn.
He's not talking about you. He's not talking about you, Jazz. Go ahead, Phil.
And you continue to do it, then yes, I'm going to call you out. Don't play the victim then after you've tagged me. Don't tell me you were only joking that you'll never draft him because he paints his nails. That's your analytical take on it. Don't say that it's a joke then later while you're debating with me or Shane. It's pathetic. Football is football. It'll go round and round. Now running the ball is important again. It always is important. Stopping the run. The holy trinity of football is still in existence. It will always be the same. Quarterback, pass rush, protection, left tackle. The Bears have failed in these departments. That's why you have no championships. You also had the biggest misnomer in it all. The god of it all is the coach. The culture of Jimmy Johnson, the culture of Don Shula, the culture of Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. Their teams play a certain way. They're really coached. Andy Reid, they're really coached well. They have a game plan to attack a team's weakness. This is what we do. No, that's not what. This is what we do when we play the Lions. This is what we do when we play the Packers. You have to have an answer. You aren't there with no linemen saying, listen, we're going to just get off the fucking bus, run it. You have not been there. You can't hang your hat on that football nugget. You just couldn't. Now, Lovey could, because you ended up building a great offensive line and you got backs and you invested. You can win that way. You can. The Bears have never had a quarterback like Caleb Williams, ever. Zero. I'm telling you, he's the best I've ever scouted. I put that to my name. How he decides to take his career, for me, what he did in Mission Impossible should be applauded for what it is. But the Mina Kimes of the world and the Cantys of the world are going to embellish this truth to a population of people that you expect me to interact with on a kind level. Let's just, yes, I'll agree with that. He plays too safe. You can't have it both ways. He doesn't play it too safe. He plays in chaos. That's what real is. You can't say that 1 week, Carm, and then come back 2 weeks later, say something else and want people to take you serious, but you have a platform of millions buying into it.
So you could say whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter. But to me, it does. And if that means I can't go on your show as an expert, and Shane can't go on your show or any of your shows, we can't be talked about anymore on your network because some soft ass pussy can't handle getting criticized. Then you have an issue because you're just as bad as every single one of those Canties and Orlovskis and all the people we've called out. You can't be that insecure, can you? Because on this show, I mean, Howard Stern, he says what's true in his belief and has made billions, the king of all media, telling his truth. You don't have to agree with everything. That's 100%. But we're not going to change here. I'm not selling out so I could be some expert for ESPN when I already know I'm better than them.
I know I brought this up with Logan, about this whole Sanborn thing, but I will say this. Logan said they created a hole and now we need a Sam. I think that they have their Sam. And I think it's a young player that's been with the team last year that ended up getting hurt. And I think that they're very, very high on him. And I think people should probably get used to the name Carl Jones in Chicago, the linebacker.
UCLA.
Yep. Bears are very, very high on him.
I love him.
Yep.
We did a great job breaking him down last year in the draft.
Yep. But then just to play off of, kind of what Logan was saying here with Josh, is speaking of stopping the run, they need to figure out a plan at linebacker next. The plan, your plan at linebacker is Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. Those are your linebackers in 2025.
I agree 100%.
And as much as I like Jack Sanborn and Logan loves Jack Sanborn, you know who didn't? Your defensive coordinator. Because they let him walk away for almost nothing.
The kid Amen could be in the comment. What was what's his name's brother?
Oh, Noah Sewell. He's got to concentrate on being healthy and participating in off-season program and all that. I mean, there's some talent. There's some talent there with Noah Sewell, but I mean, he's been non-existent. But I would remember, if I'm a Bears fan, I would remember the name Carl Jones. Actually, I think it might have been Cars that brought that up a few days ago. But can't remember exactly what his injury. Maybe somebody will have it. But he's essentially the same exact size as Sanborn, too.
Angry Bear. I am all in for celebrating a win because it's tough to win in the NFL. Club dub is a whole different perspective. I would say 100%. I believe Ben Johnson is cut from the same cloth as I am. We're going to celebrate so we could celebrate the next one. We don't need to celebrate like we just won the fucking Super Bowl.
Right.
Can't be like that anymore. I can't say I'm in the locker room to know that, but I'll just tell you, I could just see what Ben is doing and how he handles himself. I don't think we're going to be seeing clubbed up.
Yeah, and shouldn't. I'm not saying it's not hard to win in the NFL, but go take the NFC North and never give it back, and then you can party a little bit if you want to.
I'll also say this: TTNL has been open to everybody. Everybody. So I will bring anybody on the show from any of these networks.
and even your podcast. I'll bring you on the show and talk to you and interview you and see where you are. But
do you remember when Mark Grody got hired to cover the Bears, and we were with the other network, and I'm like, this dude got hired like 6 weeks ago, and he's done nothing. He hasn't talked about the Bears hardly at all. And I counted up his tweets, and it was like 4 tweets in like 6 weeks about the team that you're covering. And we did a show on the old network, and Aldo
tagged him.
Well, no, he was on with us. Aldo played my comment.
No, 100%. But you tagged him at the time on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think he first tagged, and to Grody's credit,
he said that he's like, you guys had an impact on me. He's like, yeah, they're right. I got to do more. He didn't take offense to it. It's because fans are rabid. We want to consume all we can consume on our favorite team. And Grody gets it. He took that and ran with it. And he does a great job. Grody's the best.
I love him. He's going to come on the show in a couple weeks, maybe next week. But that's how keeping it 100 has always been about holding the truth as the sacrament. So the truth is embedded in people saying the opposite of things. We had the great segment of Shane's dumbest tweets. We have to bring that back because it was a
lot of them out there.
It was a showcase of okay, and it would just rile me up because it wasn't true, and people were doing that, and so on and so forth.
And TTNL was first on this new free agent signing, Dayo Adengbo. If he hits here in Chicago, and every quarterback sack that he gets, TTNL came up with this. This is what needs to play on the sound system at Soldier Field. Every sack that he gets or big play. Every time.
Every time he gets a sack.
Every sack he gets, play it. And then the Bears fans repeat it.
There you go.
Started with TTNL. Don't forget.
I hope they are smart enough to do that.
They should be.
I mean, this team still has Larry Mayer leading the charge on questions.
Oh, Larry.
I didn't get to talk to you about the presser because
just real quick,
what is the two more questions? Two more.
Yeah, there's 2 more here. Angry Bear says, TTNL going to the draft at all? We actually have some news on that unfolded today. TTNL will have boots on the ground at the Bears draft party at Soldier Field. We're not going to announce exactly. It's not going to be Phil. It's not going to be me. It's not even going to be Cars, but TTNL will be there.
Shit, I might fly out, bro.
That's all we have to say. But right now we will announce that. But there will be TTNL reps live at the draft party. And then our guy Chubbs, have you guys picked out which game you're going to this year? Because I want to go when you guys do. We have not picked out a game. We're going to wait until we see the dates. Got to kind of see what Phil is doing coaching wise and whatever like that. We didn't have to worry about playoffs too long with this team this past year. So, right, Phil? Fuckers.
100%. So I'm
we'll
going this year.
Yeah, we'll get the whole crew there, and it better be better than the fucking Patriots game. I tell you that.
Jeez. Oh my God, it's gonna be better than that.
Yeah, but the whole
bullet on that one.
The whole crew will be there. Me, Phil, got to get Coach O.
Got to get him out there.
Yep.
He's afraid to leave my mom. That's
We're gonna send Angelo to your dad's house. He's gonna paint her a beautiful purple dream.
Purple dream.
Drawing. But yeah, Chubbs, we will keep everybody updated on that when the scheduled dates will come out a little bit closer to the draft, and we will announce it. I know there was some talk maybe about the Dallas game. It's too bad they didn't play the Jets. That would, in Soldier Field, be fucking fabulous. Caleb versus Justin.
That would be awesome.
That would probably be the game we'd go to.
I would definitely make sure I was going to that one. Something in my heart always cheers for the Jets. Because since I was a kid, going to Hofstra, my uncle Larry was the special teams coordinator there for years. So,
yeah,
I root for the Jets. I want to see. I hope Justin does well for them, but we'll see.
It's Chicago, man. They don't have to pronounce names right. We have people in Chicago still calling him Brian Urlacher, for Christ's sake, and he's a Hall of Famer.
How do you pronounce it? Urlacher, right?
Yeah, like linebacker. Urlacher.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Matrix movie, dude?
I missed that, dude.
We'll get
talking about Urlacher.
Last show Bratcher was on was
I missed
draft night. He introed the draft show last year. Nobody knew what the fuck was going on.
Gotta get him back on. Gotta get Claudio back on. Don Wanderley, $10. After hearing Jarrett speak, I'm all in. Take the best player available in the draft now.
At offensive line or defensive line? I agree.
Rob Thames by the river.
$9.99. Stoked about the possibility of a line. You going? My bad. You bleeped out my ear. I saw your lips moving, but I literally could not hear you.
Couldn't hear me?
No. Go ahead.
Stoked about the possibility of the D line of Sweat, Jarrett, Billings, and Dexter, with Graham, Deo, and Booker rotating in and out. I heard Mason Graham could fall to 10 because of his measurables. Oh my God.
Well, I happen to think Mason Graham is fantastic.
I happen to think he's a fantastic football player, mate.
And I love the thought of him working with Grady Jarrett for a year or two. Love it.
100%.
Because you know what? It's not just about measurables. Sometimes you just need to draft a really, really good football player that could be an engine for your defense. I happen to think I love Kenneth Grant too. I think he 100% should be in play for the Bears. Mason Graham,
good player.
I do. Yeah.
I mean, if Dennis Allen loved our guy from Clemson, what was his name? I fucking love that kid. And
the one that went to the Saints.
Yeah. Imagine what he thinks of Mason Graham.
Yeah. I mean, he's a lot smaller, but yeah.
Just the workman-like effort each and every play.
Oh, I mean, if Kenneth Grant was at 39, yeah, it's pretty easy. You fucking sprint to the table, you draft him. I don't think he's going to sniff 39. Phil, do you think so? I don't.
I don't think he gets out of the first round.
No, me either.
So I always try to.
We have some interesting debate going on here about exactly this, Hendricks, with Jalen Walker that Phil and I have talked about. I think it's going to be a very interesting breakdown on Jalen on Draft Mob when we start talking about him.
Oh, excuse me. Yes. I keep waking up at 4 a.m. can't sleep to the alarm anymore. It's driving me nuts. What? You have to commute to work every day?
Yeah, Bullets shared the worst fucking mock draft ever with us in a text thread
Oh
today.
my God.
Has the Bears trading from number 10 going all the way down to, what was it, 30 where Buffalo was drafting?
Yeah,
and
30.
all the Bears pick up is pick number like 56. A second rounder to drop 20 spots.
Good mock.
You let the Buffalo Bills come up to number 10 overall. And then the Bears go down to 30. And what do they do there? They draft a running back. Can you imagine dropping 20 spots in the first round, having a top 10 pick and going to 30? Yeah, Brian Breesy. Oh, I would lose my fucking mind.
You gotta like Kylie Mills. Yeah, that kid got hurt.
Yep.
They missed him in the playoffs. I didn't know is he in this draft? Mills?
What?
Is he in this draft? The defensive tackle, big fella from Notre Dame that got injured. So he was out.
Oh, the one we're just talking about, Mills?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that definitely. Listen, everybody knows I'm not a Notre Dame fan, but yeah, definitely hurt them for sure.
I don't know.
Is he? I don't.
In this? Because I haven't even watched this tape.
Yeah, I don't believe so. Riley Mills, it is. Yes, he is. My bad.
He is.
Yeah. The Kylie part. Did you have Kylie Mills in there? Is that what that was? Because I'm like, it threw me off there a little bit. Riley Mills, yes.
Can you see any more free agents? Can we see a Amari Cooper signing?
It's an interesting name. I mean, he'd give you some juice on the field there for sure. But yeah, I mean, I know some people have been wondering about Keenan Allen possibly returning. I don't think it's in the cards so much. I don't think that the Bears would be 100% against it. I myself just don't see Keenan taking a massive pay cut and taking a team-friendly deal, especially at his age. I just feel, I don't know if you feel any different. I think they want some more explosiveness.
Yeah. I think Antoine Randall L is going to be heavily involved in what they think, but I think you should return him. I was listening to someone saying Keenan Allen was the reason, and this, I think it was David Haw. I could be wrong, but he was saying that he targeted Keenan Allen so much that took away from Cole Kmet, and that's the problem.
No, that's having a shitty fucking game plan. That's
Or
what that's called.
Actually, Keenan Allen separating and getting open.
Right.
Too. You know what I'm saying?
Phil, my fucking point is saying that the Keenan Allen took away from Cole Kmet. It's bullshit. Too many weapons. 5-win team has too many weapons, Phil.
Oh yeah. I obviously believe they need a receiver. I would love if they took Amari Cooper. I would. He's still out there. I don't know what he's going to get.
Yeah, I can let me bring up the NFL free agents remaining.
Stephon Diggs at why Cooper Kupp just got released tonight.
Yeah, and there's been some connection with him in Jacksonville and in Dallas. Cooper Kupp.
Deontay Johnson is a wide receiver. Mike Williams.
Where was that rumor from?
Guy, Tyler Lockett.
Where was that rumor from? I have not seen the Bears connected to him at all. I'd be interested to know where that came from.
Well, I love Efton Chisholm. We're gonna break him down on Draft Mob. Elijah Moore is the guy.
Yeah.
That I said to Cap and Shane. That would be a good signing. If you were gonna keep what it is, I believe.
Yeah, Higgins was tagged in Cincy, and the Bears wouldn't be in on that on a guy like T. Higgins anyway.
You know who I was pissed? The kid from the Titans. Who signed him? He's got 2 last names. He was my sleeper wide receiver. And he's got a shitty quarterback, and he's always catching every fucking pass his way. He has a different name. He signed with somebody. Where's Anthony Gordon? He's from Tennessee. He's got 2 last names.
Oh, Phil wants Amir Smith-Marset back. I'm kidding.
No, he did just sign again with the Giants, right?
Yeah. Yep, he did.
Son Westbrook, right? What's his name? There it is. Akeem Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy I'm talking about. Westbrook Akeem. I love this dude. I'm like, if you ever could like make me happy and get one of these guys that.
But like Phil, you brought up Elijah Moore. We talked about Rondell Moore here, a guy that got a lot of traction, but has bounced around a lot in the league. Obviously, is I think Carolina. Did they draft Terrace Marshall in like the 2nd round? I believe at one point. I know a guy coming out that Tampa ended up taking later in the draft. I was a big Jalen Darden fan.
Oh,
Darden! I thought that he would have had a decent role in the NFL, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely some names out there, but I like you said, bringing up you brought up Jesus Christ, why am I Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
You know, at 30 years old, but I mean, also talking about a guy that just made $20 million, and where's he going to be? I just don't think that the Bears want to be in that stratosphere with another wide receiver, because I mean, you plan on Rome Odunze making a massive leap. I mean, I think financial expectations are going to be in play big time with Amari Cooper.
I don't know where the cap is.
No, we don't. We don't, because a lot of the numbers aren't in yet. But listen, it's the Bears are in.
This dude was on the radio saying we have no cap space now.
Yeah, well,
he doesn't know anything.
Has no idea. Like I said, it's a simple adjustment can be made with Montez Sweat and DJ Moore, and you can have $35 million in the snap of a finger available. So the Bears are in.
We still had plenty of money, like we were in the 20-something mil.
Yeah, but Phil, if they
Gala goes out there says we're done. We don't have any more cap space. We're done. And I go, wait, what?
Yeah,
we have somewhere around 17. I thought we were like 23, 25 million. But they already could say there was some. I thought Garrett's contract they showed. Or was it a Deo where it was like 2.5 this year, next year?
No, that was well, it wasn't. Maybe it was Deo's that they showed they had it broke down. But yeah, the Bears are in no fear of not having money to spend under the cap, guys. Don't overreact to this, please.
Yeah, well, I had to text you and Ryan Cox to see if this was any validity. And I'm doing this every day. I'm like, wait, what? Did I miss the contracts? Because they could still extend and will extend Joe Tooney.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, but that's what you want to see. Like, somebody had sent me a DM and said, how come we haven't seen a Kyler Gordon extension? You don't need to extend him right now. You don't. Do it in August. Does it make any difference?
Bullets.
Yeah, and then so you can add another 35 Do it like that. They're in
35 plus 18. 8 plus 5, that's 13. Carry the 1.
Yeah, and I mean the rookie pool, that's the Bears are fine. They can go out and sign any fucking buddy. They can go out and sign 2 fucking anybody's if they want to. They're fine.
Why
Believe
didn't
me.
they let the kid Smythe speak? Why didn't he get to speak at the presser?
Was anybody looking to speak to him? I mean,
I'm sure there would be some questions. Yeah. He has past experience with that whole presser thing with this short 2 more. I'm like, wait, what? They have Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson sitting up there, and they limited the questions. I'm like, oh my God. And Tooney is just a likable dude. He's just a very likable guy.
yeah.
If you're just tuning in, we talked all about Jarrett, Grady Jarrett's amazing interview with him. You could just see what kind of person you're getting in the locker room, and that is worth a lot of weight in gold at this point, especially when you're a young head coach and you have a guy that's going to facilitate your word and be a temperature taker on top of being a great football player. Now he is going to set the standard of the expectation. And this is a shot at Jalen Johnson. He's not a very good professional when it comes to others. He's good about him. And that's usually how corners are. So when you get someone in there that can atone for him as well and have him fall in line, and there was something to be said about Akeem Hicks. You know, Khalil Mack wasn't a rah-rah guy, but Akeem had a voice. And there was a level of accountability that fit and matched with Fangio, who was the real reason why you won those games. And thus, here's Coach Johnson following that same kind of formula. Get alphas in here that are going to put football first. Ryan Poles should be smiling now because he sucks and has sucked a lot when it came to coaching and finding the right coach and the right centers and the right linemen. We will see on that department how they analyze this stuff. Because if Kelvin Banks is there at 10, I'm taking him. And I said that well before Daniel Jeremiah put him as the 10th pick this week, mock 2.0. Whenever I saw his first mock and Memba was there, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
I know Greg Gabriel has mentioned this. Matt Miller doubled down on it, just saying that with the Bears' foray into the trade market and in free agency along the offensive line, that removes offensive line completely off the board at number 10. I'm like, what are we doing? How is that possible?
So next year,
I mean,
we have enough, God forbid.
We've done enough on the offensive line.
That's not how this works. Your goal is to get the best and continue to build on it. It's dumb. And it's just doesn't make it. That's why you lost with these types. It's so important. Again, the cliches. It all starts up front. You win in the trenches. Defense wins championships. All of that stuff, all of it, when pulled back and looked at, is true. So get the defensive pass rush. Don't just project that Deo is what his stats say. Jarrett made a great point talking about how many pressures he had. It's disruption of the quarterback. We had former Bears defensive coordinator Greg Blash on our show, and we talked about just that. Listen, forcing a throw early is just as good, because punting on third down or fourth down,
Don't
rather,
you
is
remember
like
all the heat
turnover.
that he took for making that back
Yeah,
in the
I
day?
do.
Yeah.
But he was right.
Right. Yeah.
And you got to get after it. The Bears haven't got after it. Like you said, Shane, they had a lot of talkers, not performers.
Right.
And you need those dogs. I'm looking at this roster because, stories aren't written in March about the season. There could be a kid on the practice squad right now ready to get his opportunity to shine and do something about it. The funny thing is, they're not going to be talked about on your local radio program. They're going to be laughed about as a nothing because they've done nothing. But that's not how the game of football works. It doesn't correlate to your business of sound bites and statistics. That doesn't work here. So a guy that I really like a John Kaminsky, he'll be a second round of signings type guy that could come in here with his big body and make a name for himself.
Somebody is racing to the stats column to see how many sacks he had. And then is going to report back and say that he sucks.
And that's the problem. Football is a team sport. When you're rushing the passer, you're going to need toughness and effort. When you're running routes, the great teams, especially in this day and age with all these layered concepts, players need to sprint their routes in order to make someone move from a place to make the next one available on the read. If you're just jogging or you don't know the route that you're supposed to run, then it affects the quarterback. And thus, that's what we show you on tape, not some shit boy's statistical breakdown. It's the same thing with the defensive line. If someone's freelance, so we have a TE stunt, tackles coming down, ends are coming down, tackles coming out, you got to come all the way out. If you come inside and give up the edge, then the quarterback gets outside of you. You've let down the secondary. You've let down the linebacker. You've let down the rest of the defensive line who put this stunt together. You have to be disciplined. And when you get an opportunity to sack the quarterback or make a tackle, you have to wrap up because it's your job to tackle. If a guy goes out there and decides that I'm a running back, but I'm going to jog, how successful is he going to be? Just put it on the opposite side. I'm going to go out there and I'm not going to tackle. I'm not going to wrap. I'm just going to continue to throw my shoulder into it. Vic Fangio created waves because he called Kyle Fuller out. Guess what? Changed the whole course of Kyle Fuller's career. That's what needs to happen. Accountability. Ben can't be listening to George McCaskey on how to run a football team or coach one. Don't swear. Don't call players out. Don't hold them accountable. We don't want any kind of drama. Guess what? You get no kind of silverware. You get no kind of medals. You get no kind of trophies coaching like that.
Keys guy said, are the Bears going to get a veteran backup if Bajent moves on after next year? When do the Bears draft their next backup quarterback? So the Bears control Tyson Bajent. He becomes a restricted free agent after the the offseason of 2026. So he's restricted. So the Bears, that's up to the Bears, depending on, how they want to do that. listen, if you get into, I know the Bears, what do they have, a 5th and 2/7 on day number 3. My guess is they probably would, like, I don't, if Kyle McCord was there, I wouldn't be against taking a Kyle McCord in round 5, throwing him into the system. A lot of it's going to depend on Jim's son, Austin Reed, and how they project him.
Oh yeah, Ben is going to be able to decide.
But yeah, Tyson's not going to be free to go. The Bears, he's a restricted free agent, so they can put a second round tender on him. And I mean, he's making nothing. And
This
the way
is
that
this is the truth here. This is
Oh,
why
yeah.
they probably would trade him, because of the father's drama and making up stories.
But that can change with legitimacy at head coach and your leadership, Phil.
100%. Yeah, I'll tell you what I would do.
If I'm Ben Johnson, yeah, I'd make the fucking phone call. Yeah.
I'm Ryan Poles.
Oh, yeah, totally
letting
agree.
Ben know about this.
Yep.
And then I'm Ben Johnson, just like you said. I'm making a call, and it ain't a phone conversation. I want him to come into my office so we could talk.
Yeah. And I love Courtney. And if she was on with us right now, I'd tell her that's a bad take.
0.0.
Bad fucking horrible take.
I would be so shocked.
He's not going to take a backup role, first off. And why would
he ain't coming to Chicago?
Jeez. Terrible. Terrible.
Welcome to Patron, Mike G. Thank you for joining, because this guy right here was the first patron ever.
Yeah, we
Big O.
yet.
We were talking about you last week, Big O. Probably watched it on the rewind. I would tell Courtney, if she's watching now.
Yeah, and John's right. She
never believed that.
She started talking about it, laughing about it. I mean, it just listen.
Yeah. I didn't hear it. So
he's the Giants want him. They haven't set up a meeting yet, and I think he wants Pittsburgh.
What does Pittsburgh want?
Well, Pittsburgh. What is their option at this point?
See. What are they? Who are the?
No, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers.
Russ Wilson.
Russell Wilson has a meeting with Cleveland in the next couple of days.
Oh, really?
Cleveland just traded for Cody Pickett. Yeah, that was actually somebody put out a great tweet. They said that Deshaun Watson was instrumental in getting Cody Pickett to Cleveland in the trade because of he's got strong hands, and Deshaun Watson was really interested in that.
Dang. Who doesn't have a quarterback? Giants and Steelers, that's it.
Yeah, the Giants don't. Steelers don't.
It's Mason Rudolph going back to the Steelers.
I mean, I like JJ, but I mean, is the knee healthy? Minnesota's got to do something.
Minnesota doesn't have a quarterback either.
Yeah.
Josh McCown dressing.
Yeah. Vegas has Geno, but I mean, you're calling Geno Smith your quarterback of the future at 37 years old.
How about the Colts?
Daniel Jones
and Anthony Richardson competing. I think they were the two worst completion percentage quarterbacks in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
Jeez. I was told Justin left Pittsburgh because he didn't want to face Caleb Williams. That's what I was told. We played Pittsburgh this.
Hard pass, guy. Hard pass.
He's not going to sit.
Right. He'd retire.
The perspective is not even there. Rodgers is going to start somewhere. So you can quote me on that. I was told didn't want to face Caleb.
Who? Justin?
Yes.
That's why he left the Steelers?
That's why he left the Steelers. They're on the schedule, Shane.
Who's the fucking idiot that told you that?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, then he's a moron too, because that's dumb. He got fucking $40 million. 30 million guaranteed to go to the Jets and play with his old guy. He's going to play with Garrett Wilson. They just signed his college center today, Josh Myers.
Did they?
Yeah, 1 year, $3.5 million.
Oh yeah, you texted me that. Fuck. Yep. I like Josh Myers a lot. Who's their other receivers?
Yeah, we're not out on Karan Amagaji at all. And anybody that's out on Karan is
honestly a dumb football person.
Foolish. The guy was hurt. He had no offseason. He had no training camp. The Bears threw him in a very bad situation. We talked about it earlier. Provided him no help. Provided him no help on third down. People, oh, that guy sucks. Stop.
It's embarrassing.
Yes.
That's my guy, bro.
Had a whole segment
I can't wait to break him down on tape. Fannin. The tight ends are going to be fun at Draft Mob.
Oh, my God. Everybody's got...
Be like Mike G. Sign up. Become a patron. Get the truth.
But he's got the Bears drafting a tight end or a running back at number 10.
Tyler Warren?
All season long, everybody's like, oh, my God, can we get an offensive line to protect Caleb, please? Oh, my God, our defense on third down is terrible. Can we get off the field? And then you get a fucking top 10 pick, and it's like, yeah, let's draft a tight end. Let's draft a running back. In the deepest running back class maybe in history, let's pivot to running back at 10. Make it make sense. And I think Genty's fantastic. Bears aren't there.
Bears aren't there.
They're not. Let's have way too many assets in the trenches. How about that? Let's do that.
I like that idea. Did it fall?
People don't watch our shows. Yeah.
I think they don't see it because he's not a patron or he doesn't watch our show.
But we've talked about it on Keeping It 100 a lot. They were very high on Caleb.
I love Caleb Johnson as well as Caleb Williams.
Yeah, the Caleb backfield just spelled different.
Caleb CK. Caleb with a C, Caleb with a K.
9 p.m. East, G-Man.
I was trying to
post it in the patron chat, and you will get a post tomorrow at noon, reminding everybody.
There is a patron chat room designed to chat with Phil and Shane.
And the patrons have to come up with a proper name for that chat room. We're gonna let them. It might just be called Scottish Bears chat room because he's the fucking president in there. He's always Scottish Bears always in there.
Guys in there. It's
Scottish
like
Bear chat
what was
room.
the commercial? The sauce. It's in there. It's in there. Mott's. Speaking of Mott's, how about Membu? Armand Membu live film breakdown tomorrow night. You got former Bears offensive guard, offensive tackle, Big Steve Williams, Coach O, myself, and Shane. 9 p.m. East. For those of you like Greg Braggs who can't do the math, that would be 8 p.m. Central Time.
I just had a phone conversation with Mr. Gregory Braggs yesterday
Did you?
afternoon for a while, and with him being laid up, He told me that he is going to be so in depth on knowledge on these draft prospects that we are going to be coming to him to ask questions.
Okay.
I assume that Jenny gave him too much of his pain medication, that he was just talking crazy.
He had a lot of those Percocets.
Yeah.
The 100 chat crew. Just don't let bullets call it. Bear down, breakdown.
Bear down, breakdown.
How
I'm not
about
breaking down anything in the chat, really.
yes? How about sorry, Logan, Jack is gone? Chat room.
The Jack Sanborn Memorial thread.
It's a lot of fun in there. If you have questions, Shane or myself jump right in.
Phil, you have a question here, and it is an interesting one.
The Muck Memorial chat.
Axeman. If both are there at 10, Mason Graham,
this is a tough.
Calvin Banks.
This is tough, but I honestly have to go.
I know where Phil's going.
Calvin Banks.
Well, the thought process there is it's a deep class at defensive tackle. So that's, I think, probably Phil's thought process there. But I don't think you can go wrong with either. But it's a great question.
Great question. And I answer it.
Well, I'll answer it. I have no problem answering
you.
it.
I'm not saying about you.
I
would take Graham.
I'm not a huge defender of Braxton Jones, but I will say this, and you throw Karan Amagaji in there. Also, there is other tackles that I think can fall in this draft that I do like. Let's not overlook the impact that a guy like Joe Tooney at left guard is going to have, even on a guy like Braxton Jones. Because if you think that that's not in play for the Bears, it's in play for the Bears to have Braxton Jones be the left tackle in 2025. It's in play for the Bears, Phil. You and I both know that.
I don't know if he's healthy.
But they know that.
They know.
Yeah,
yes.
we don't know that. I'm just saying.
Why I take Banks is one B was what Shane said, because I know there's a lot of good D tackles that I like in this draft. But 1A is this is a true pillar piece. And it goes on the holy trinity of football philosophy that I've always bred on. It's just quarterback, pass rusher, left tackle.
I'm glad you brought it up. Well, he's
21 years old.
Right.
He's got the best feet. He's an athlete. And if you honestly know how to watch, that's another thing. There's people that watch tape, don't know offensive line play.
Well,
there are people. I'm putting you in a classroom, showing you.
Right. Well, let me put this. This is the perfect comment for me to put up right here. And Phil, let me say, because I know exactly what you're going to say, but let me address this. So, Adrian, to Phil's point, would you guys like Josh Simmons better than Banks if he wasn't injured? Become a patron, and you will have visual proof and audio proof of Phil, myself, Steve Edwards, former Bear offensive lineman, and Coach O talking about exactly that. We break it all down and we show you. And the answer is pretty clear. Go sign up.
Oh, Adrian.
It never does.
Just for that, you would get your answer without a verbiage that we forget 6 months down the road. Now, some of you patrons are just outstanding, and you will just, hey, You called that there. You know, I was there on the front line. Like, I love Roma Dunze, but you got to take Brock Bowers because that's just generational talent for me. I saw two of them. I said it over and over. There's two guys in this draft that are like no other. Caleb and Brock Bowers.
Yep.
Over and over, I said it.
Keys guy, I wouldn't put money on that.
Yeah, Keys.
I
I wouldn't
wouldn't.
put money on it. Now, getting back to this, in truth, I would pick who I said. If the Bears picked Graham, I'm not, oh my God. Now, if the Bears pick Membu, I might leave the show. Like, tomorrow night is much watched TV to unveil. I know I texted, I was trying not to, but I'm sitting there cutting all this tape up and I'm getting so agitated because of the echo chamber. Whoever called it that, I want to give you credit because I'm going to use that from now on. Because I'm sure someone else had said it before and I may have heard it before, but it is the absolute, like, Matt Waldman has an ability to articulate things where you're like, that's how the fuck I want to say it. Like, he does that. I love him for that. You know, he's able to articulate in words. The echo chamber is exactly what I try to avoid.
Right.
Because it's embarrassing. And I would just want to say it like this. The Membu echo chamber, based on his combine and the ceiling, became this lead up to top 10. And it really let me down on Daniel Jeremiah.
Yeah, it bubbled up to the surface at the combine because, you know, his size and his athletic numbers. But Chris Breckenfelder, do you not think Genty is that guy this year, generational? I wouldn't call Ashton Genty generational. I think he's fantastic. He's the best back in the class. Clearly. He ain't Saquon.
I love Genty. Like, if they took Genty, I would not upset with their plan. You and I differ.
And I love Genty, Phil. I want that known. I love him, but we've been pounding the table forever. For trenches. Now you have your chance to take some top flight guys in the trenches to, I don't want to say give yourself an overabundance because you can never have enough. But man, this running back class is really good.
I like Genty a lot. He is the best back in this draft.
So let me ask you this, Phil. Gun to your head.
Yeah.
Would you like Genty and Ariante Irsay as your pick 10 and 39? Or would you prefer Mason Graham or Kelvin Banks and Quinshon Judkins? So there, yeah,
both are great options.
Well, yeah. So answer it though.
As long as I had
you know
Ursula,
what the fucking answer is.
I have to get Kelvin Banks because I think he'll be what Laramie Tunsil is as far as talent. What that Jimbo Covert. We're talking Jimbo Covert-esque ability at left tackle. This kid is special. I mean, go watch. Who is the guy? He just signed up to be a Patriot. Go watch the breakdown. We did a 3-player day. We broke down 3 offensive linemen on that day. And Banks, I mean, the difference of Banks to everybody, it's just easy to see when you're being shown and you see it for what it is without cherry picking. Ivan did a great job cutting that tape up, so you're seeing almost sometimes too much. Like it's more than I cut. Ivan gave you every fucking bit of so many different games that there's nowhere to. It's just the same kind of Big Steve cracking up laughing. My father cracking up laughing on how good this kid is. It's just like
I wasn't alive when they drafted Walter, so I wouldn't know what that felt like at the time, but it was a completely different NFL. I mean,
that's big talk, Phil.
I can't, and I'm not bagging on Ashton Genty at all. At all.
How many people bring up Jimbo Covert? Pump the brakes.
About, I don't know.
Watch the fucking show, bro. You clearly didn't, Logan. You were caught up with your tissues for Jack. Was the dude in the Titanic's name Jack? Because that would be
Jack Dawson.
That would be a great piece when Jack dies.
Have Logan
looking down.
I'll
Jack,
never let go.
Never let go. Jack. Oh my God. It's just you have a comparison of how the person is going to identify themselves in an organization. You have not had a left tackle like that since Jimbo Covert. And the comparison is easy for me to make because I'm looking at the whole picture of Banks.
But Phil, I think everybody is just assuming that Ben Johnson selected Jahmyr Gibbs. He fucking didn't.
No.
Brad Holmes did.
With the head coach.
General manager. Right. The OC is going to have input. Yes.
100%.
But it's just...
The good ones embrace the coaches, and then they have their conviction of what... It's so pathetic that Matt Eberflus was the head coach of the Bears. I just don't even know how anybody could trust Ryan Poles here. So that's where I am with it. I just wait and see. I have to put my faith in Ben Johnson. And so far, I believe Ben Johnson is involved with pushing to get Tooney, Jonah Jackson, Dahlman, and identified these fucking guys on the offense. Obviously, I mean, look at it. Jonah Jackson, Smythe, he has history with. He understands anybody with a fucking that isn't blind can see what Tooney brings to the table. Good on you to recognize that Dennis Allen has played the Falcons many a time and knows exactly what Grady Jarrett is. Ben Johnson knows what Grady Jarrett is. So thus, you as the head coach pivot and say, we need to get this guy. And that's what it is. That's how I look at this. Ben Johnson going along with the team and the whole God thing of football that I always talk about. The head coach is that important. He's doing it right now with the help of the GM's got to pull the trigger.
He's in play, Mike.
He is in play.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
If they draft Banks, he will start. Don't put limits on it. Bang, he won't start though.
Why would you draft the backup at 10, Phil? Right? Wasn't that the...
He will start, James.
Braxton Jones is injured. Don't know when he's going to return yet. There's no time frame. And he's very unstable at anchoring and finishing. He has long arms. He is not a power run player. Although last year I saw one highlight where he took a linebacker on and knocked him to the ground. The first time I've seen him do that is one rep. So Braxton Jones isn't, as Shane has said, you go into a season with that guy as a fucking pencil mark.
Yeah. And Chris, I calling the rest of the backs in the draft complimentary pieces, I wholeheartedly disagree with.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I'm a big Judkins guy.
Yeah.
Scattaboo is much better than advertised. I know a lot of people saw him. I saw him all year do this.
9 p.m. Adrian, go in
9 p.m. We said
there will be usually on whatever show is coming out that day. Post will come out around noon that day, reminding everybody. But it's always in the chat. Go into the active chats, active 24/7, 365 in there.
Welcome to the family, Adrian, and thank you for your patronage.
Appreciate you. You got to get through Scottish Bear though first. He's our bouncer. He runs.
Scottish
he's
Bear
in there all the
should
time.
be the admin.
Yeah.
If we needed it.
Yeah.
Scottish Bear. Who else in?
We
Sean
got.
Stewart.
Look at this, Phil. Another one.
Oh no.
We talked about.
I like him too, but I didn't like him because of how he tested at the draft. I told patrons
at the combine,
at the combine. I told patrons weeks before the combine that was my sleeper running back in the entire draft. And obviously he went out there and performed the way he did. And let me just tell you, he is not one of these fast backs with nothing else to offer. There's a lot to like, and we will break him down. We're going to break down. Ivan's cutting all the backs. He started already. We have both Judkins and Travion Henderson. I'm doing the guards, although maybe I'm wasting my time with guards. It's considered the draft they signed too.
They're pushed down the.
Yeah, I think
board
guards
a little bit
got pushed down a little bit. Center got pushed down.
Yep.
Tight end, running back, pass rusher, wide receiver, and offensive tackle. There you go. How would you rank them, Shane?
Say again.
You would have to go by the Holy Trinity.
Well, that's what I was talking when you brought that up earlier, Phil. It's weird that you brought it up because I was thinking about this today. You actually saying the Holy Trinity.
Yes.
So, Ryan Pohl's first draft, he did not have a first-round draft pick. But then he came back with not a left tackle, but he drafted him to play right tackle. So you got your tackle. And then what did he come back with the next draft? At number 1 overall. The quarterback. Now he did go wide receiver. I love Roma Dunze. If it was me, I was going offensive tackle last year. Their plan was to, if Rome wasn't there, I'm talking about the Bears now, would have been to bounce back, and their target was Fuaga.
I don't get it, but yeah. Fits with Ryan Poles. Where did he go?
Saints.
I just see him as a guard.
He played left tackle.
How did he do?
Guy Finley. Loved him. But my point is, Phil, so part of your Holy Trinity, what has not been drafted yet by Ryan Poles up top. And it rhymes with smash smusher. What is he not drafted up top?
Pass rusher. Not once.
Now let me ask you this.
Let me ask you, what
Real
pass
quick.
rusher did he draft? Has he drafted one?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, even the
He
defensive
drafted
line.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, the one is in jeopardy of even making this roster, if we're being honest, depending on what Dennis Allen feels like. But Phil, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Montez Sweat has a big contract, and along with that, people see that and think that he is an elite level pass rusher. Montez Sweat is not an elite level pass rusher. Does he have the ability to be? Sure. Is he? No. He's a good pass rusher. He's a good player. The Bears ponied up because they traded a second-round draft pick for him, and I have no problem with Montez Sweat. Okay, so now we go to the guy we just signed, Dayo Adengbo, as the other guy. You got another young guy in Austin Booker. Is that what we're going to rely on when you think about it? Are you really going to rely on Montez Sweat and Adengbo and Austin Booker on your edges? Are you going to add another top flight pass rusher with traits? Do you see the pathway there? And this is where a guy like Mason Graham or somebody like that comes in, because that is also a pass rusher. But Montez Sweat, Dayo Adengbo, and Austin Booker, potential, yes. I get it. There's a lot of question marks there, man, if we're being honest.
I agree with you.
A lot of them.
Then you got to weigh in Mike Green and James
Sweat.
Pierce's.
Montez Sweat has had double-digit sacks one time in his career. Dayo Adengbo, he maxed out at what, 8 or 8.5 2 years ago in Indy. Austin Booker, take another step. Do you see where an outside threat is a very high priority for this team when you want to attack in waves? I'm just saying.
I would love if they took Ojulari, signed Ojulari. I'm all for what's his name they were going to trade for. What's his name, Shane? He ended up going to the Falcons.
Oh, Matthew Judon.
Signing him, or the kid that has given us fucking shits for years, Darius Smith.
But this is
get one of them.
Logan's right, and that's the thing. Pass rusher is still a massive priority for this team. Massive.
I hope they sign one more guy.
I'd have no problem with it.
Ojulari, guy that gets after it. But Judon plays with that. What's Judon's height? Does he fit the Dennis Allen? I think he does, right?
Well, yeah. Well, so I think it was Mike. Where did he have it? Pierce fits the measurables, Mike. I think, what is he, 245 the pounds, and he's young. He has the frame to put on weight. The issue with Pierce is character above all else. That's where the question marks.
Yeah, you can't.
Guy's 6'5", 245. He can put on 15 pounds easy with his frame. So I don't think it's so much he doesn't fit the measurables. It's character with Pierce that has to check out. I mean, when you have your college coaches saying they can't wait and being happy that he's gone, that's a fucking now you got to dig and see if that's the truth. Mike Green has question marks. Same thing about the assault charges. Is it true? I can't tell you either way. I have no idea. That's up to the Bears. That's up to the private investigators that listen. They already know. They've been tracking the kid during the season last year. That's what happens. They know. They have the answer to that. I don't. I can't sit here and tell you that Montez Sweat, Dayo Adengbo, and Austin Booker has me over the moon in terms of pass rush ability. Massive question mark. Massive.
Get me the Darius Smith to go along with Jarrett Grady. Put another veteran on the edge that has that motor. Let him play in every NFC North squad. I need that guy. Like, that comes off that right side and is a finisher going against the left tackle.
Right.
We don't have that. Now they signed Dayo. And Dayo has the size,
but
the traits.
But Mike, it
doesn't have to be 280, Mike.
It doesn't have to be 280. They just re-signed
270.
They signed Chase Young last year. He's 265 pounds. It's not a line drawn in this. He's got to be 280. It's not. And these young guys,
Garrett, guys, I'm sorry. I got all these names in my head.
But these guys, these rookies that are coming in, they're I mean, Austin Booker is going to be bigger this year than he was last year. You get a
He
year.
He has to be.
Their body, a full off season in an NFL program. That's part of it. But it's not. There's not a line that's you got to be 280. It's not. Chase Young's not 280. And they brought him in.
We could pick up Charles Amenahu.
Amenahu, yeah.
Amenahu from the Chiefs. He's 6'5", 280. Fits exactly Mike Hoff.
Jarrett Grady.
I'm a big fan of Mike Green, but that off the field stuff. I was again talking about Mike Green back in November. Now he goes to the Senior Bowl, proves his worth. There's no denying the guy's talent. It's going to be interesting. These next few waves of free agency, I want to see. I hope they give me another veteran like a guy that's done it on the edge. I just need somebody to help Montez be better and help facilitate a rotation with Darius Smith would be perfect signing for this team. It would be, I would be, oh, that is perfect. Now you're good. Now you're truly available to do whatever you want at 10.
Right. So I'm just looking it up. Like Carl Granderson, the pass rusher for the Saints, 261 pounds. Isaiah Foskey, who they drafted in the second round, 270 pounds. These guys are going to fill out in time. I mean, look at Alex. Look at the journey that Alex Brown went on in Chicago. You know, in terms of his weight, they wanted him to. Remember when they wanted him to bulk up to like almost 300 pounds that time?
Yep.
But we can't sit here and pretend like just because they threw decent money at Adengbo that the pass rush is solved. Because there's questions with Montez Sweat. Yes, he was injured a lot last year. Not an elite level pass rusher. He's just not. Questions with Jervon Dexter. Yes. Dennis Allen should help in that. Scheme should help. Grady Jarrett should help.
100%. Who's he talking about here?
Williams at 10, Connerly at 39, and Judkins at 41. What do you mean? Who's he talking about in Williams, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know who he's.
Which Williams are we talking about?
Oh, Mikkel. Jesus, yeah. Who we were just talking about. I had the Saints roster in my head for some reason.
So did I. That's why I was.
But yeah,
I have so many names in my head. My safety, again, another guy that I pointed out. This is a pillar piece type safety. He goes out there and fucking destroys the combine. Solid kid. Leading you patrons into the combine. And then now look where he is. I don't know where he's going to go. Bears need safeties. Every safety, I think, will be a free agent next year.
yeah, I think there's some question marks that I think need to be answered about him, but he's going to be a guy that I think if they don't go pass rusher at 10, he's not in play at 10 for me.
No.
I don't know if that's what Keys guy thinks.
No.
He's a guy that would be, you'd be talking about at 39 or 41 potentially. I think that would be the range where he would be going in.
Another thing is the Stewart talk, because I love Stewart.
Yeah, there's a ton there, man. But you have to do your due diligence with him beyond everything. Because, I mean, a sack and a half with the talent that kid has, and I think he's got 4 or 4.5 sacks in his collegiate career.
Mm-hmm.
With that is something that you have to sit down and talk to the kid about. Is there some sort of a disconnect there?
He did have a lot of pressures.
Oh, no, I get it. But at some point, you got to finish too. You know what I mean? When you're talking about top 10 overall.
Yeah.
But Phil, come on. I mean, that's when you see
the
four
question.
careers,
The question
you
has
have to
to happen. The question has to happen. 100%.
You have to ask those. That's the first fucking thing that I'm asking the kid. And you ask him point fucking blank, and you almost want to put him in an uncomfortable situation to see how he reacts to it.
Willie Pete wants Derek Harmon at 10.
Interesting.
He would be a surprise for me at 10.
Yeah, me too. But
I love the player.
He's an interesting player for sure. Yeah.
Keem Hicks like defensive lineman.
Yeah, it's going to be fun breaking down these guys, Phil, because like I said, we talked a little bit, and he's obviously not fitting into the archetype of like what Mike Huff is talking about, but we talked a little bit about Jalen Walker. We talked about Jihad Campbell,
mm-hmm.
And how you have to look at these guys. And Dennis Allen can get pretty creative. And I want him taking everything into consideration.
I would never take Tyleek Williams over Graham. I thought whoever said that.
Yeah, no, I would.
What do you? No,
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into this. The off the field stuff is got to be weighed into it. There's a clean prospect in Gray Zabel. You know, are you protecting yourself there? You got to see. We'll be covering this draft live on this network.
Gavel to gavel.
No comment other than I got geared up by the press earlier, and now I got to get to watch my favorite Bears content tonight. Keep being badasses, y'all. Phil, Shane, and Ivan Rock. Our guy
Rip through those
James
real
Weston.
quick, Phil. I'll
Yep.
be right back. I gotta step away.
Bill Wagner, $10. Oh, I'm big on this screen. Love that TTNL's fired up today. Draft season is the best time to join TTNL Patreon. Bill Wagner, $10. You just paid for your patron. Thank you, Bill. Casey Bond, $1.99. Which signing will have the largest impact on the team? Dang, Case. That's a tough one. It's hard to define based on the need of offensive line and what it is that you had and how that'll impact. To quantify that in measured scale of biggest, especially when you see a team that was so out of sorts in regards to culture, toughness, leadership, all these things that we know are the definition of football and team are so lacking that I can't even answer that for you. But I think they all have a huge, it's a 180. How about this? It's a 180 from where we were in regards to personnel and personality on the football team. Tooney, Jonah Jackson. Tomorrow, apparently Anthony's telling us that there's a presser for tomorrow, so you'll meet Dahlman and Deo, Double D, tomorrow afternoon. But I just think that Grady Jarrett just, if top of the show, shows you that. James Weston, this guy. Shouting you out, James Weston. I thought Critical Drinker was my favorite.
Yeah, and let me address dumb fuck William Blast here.
Oh no, you just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, yeah. Tell TDL to. Yeah, we stole. The Tape Never Lies stole from William. Yes, and his buddy Marcus of Tape Don't Lie. Yeah, that's what we did.
We had the name well before.
Holy shit. Yeah, go check the YouTube dates, William, and we'll see how dumb you fucking look. Probably as dumb as you look in your profile picture right now.
Oh my God. He really sent this?
Yeah, he's just
when was this?
William, you coming and defending Marcus, believe me, bro, he ain't gonna suck your dick.
When did he write this?
He just wrote it. 11:31.
I'm in the. Sorry, bro. My father said that to me in 1984. And we decided to use that. I've been using that, The Tape Never Lies, as my YouTube video breakdowns for years. For years, bro.
Tell him to sue us. Yes.
And at the old network.
Please do.
Considering Tape Don't Lie is probably slang for what it is that we do. You could stay in your own lane.
Yeah. Go watch Tape Don't Lie. Learn your thing over there. Yeah, we stole from whoever the fuck he's talking about. Cool. Thanks for giving us the view, though.
I never even. Oh my God. It's pathetic. It's too bad that Aldo deleted all my the Tape Never Lies old stuff. But yeah, Thanks, James Weston, $10. I got a split from the chat. TTNL, he's back. James Weston. See you on the Patreon. However, the mock drafts go, I believe Ben Johnson with all the juice. Keep kicking ass, fellas. I appreciate you. Wow. That Will comment threw me. It's sad.
Yeah, that's fun.
Sad that people do
been
that.
around for a long time and shows up tonight. It's cool. Internet's a big fucking place. We didn't steal shit from anybody. We've been here a long time, bro. Today you might learn something. People are funny.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. What a pathetic, man.
It's all good though.
Oh my God. Imagine that.
Oh, I'm just checking out Tape Don't Lie, and guess who it's based off?
The Bears?
It's the Raiders.
Who else would steal?
Ben Johnston angst.
Who a Raider steals? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He's Tape Don't Lie. We'll say the actual phrase that's used. Right?
Well,
it's funny. Well, fuck him. Let's get on to our.
All I know is that two things could be right. The tape never lies, but I can tell you this, Will, in an honest way. There is 0.0% of stealing from anybody. In fact, it's an ode to my father, who coined that to me and the football team as a young kid, saying there's nowhere to hide from the tape. The tape never lies. So I take a lot of pride in that. I made a video series. I mean, that was what, Shane? 2014? It was before the old network. I started doing it with Lauren, and I would put it up, and I'd break down college guys as well on the Tape Never Lies video series.
Oh,
and then it went to Bears Bar Room, and I did it there to bring more viewers over to Bears Bar Room. And he deleted all that stuff, so historically timestamps aren't probably there because he deleted it like a jackass. And then the rest is history. In what year did the Tape Never Lies Network? 2019?
Well, yeah, but I can have, so just give me a second. I'm working on the ultimate hammer fucking drop over here. So
that's all I want.
Yeah.
Because I it's such a point of like pride, because your father and you, Shane, have such a big part of this. You know, there's not a lot of positive in this world. So the reality of us doing this, and thanks, Mike, 2018. I started it way before that.
Oh, it was way before that. And here, this is what we do. Like the tape never lies, right?
Yeah.
So you're about to be presented with some facts here, kids. So buckle the fuck up. So let's bring this up.
This is when I love you the best. Like, you never end a show.
I don't even know if you can see it.
Yeah,
so this is the Tape Don't Lie. So their join date is August 19th, 2020. Okay.
Okay.
I know you can't
I
see
can
that.
see it. You can zoom in, no?
Yeah.
Is there a way?
There is. Hold on.
So he just accused us.
Yeah.
Of stealing. And August.
Well, just I got that too.
Oh, you got my. Do you have my first time? That would be sick. Because it's got to be 2014. I want to say.
So his was August 19th, 2020.
So
we
William
go over to the
the
tape never lies here. So our date here is February 10th, 2017.
There you go.
Bravo. You're a badass.
Let's give it up for him.
You're a badass.
Thank you for using facts.
Yes.
Was that fact checked? It even goes before 2017. Because I remember vividly Lauren Cox. Shout out to you, Lauren, of what is the Daily Bears podcast that he does. I want to give him, what is this podcast, Shane?
Locked On Bears.
Locked On, thank you.
Yeah.
Friend Lauren Cox of Locked On helped institute and start me uploading my film breakdowns on YouTube. And that's where many hundreds of thousands of people saw me then. And I brought the Tape Never Lies to Bears Bar Room to help facilitate more viewers, let people know where they can go find the truth. And I would break down college and the Bears. And remember, people would be critical, like, you need to circle the guy that you're talking about. And it was a video series. Shane always got receipts. So, Will, I expect you to come on the show next week with a formal apology, because I think it's kind of weak that you took our name and created a slang version of it, because it really offended me. I'm not going to lie. I want you to know, you should feel my heartbeat when Shane put that comment up there. So
well,
what
just
a
imagine
fucking
being so
scumbag.
fucking dumb to
You
come
got to
in
be a
and-
fucking scumbag. Such a scumbag. He has no ball. You're right. Tell him, Nino. He's coming on here trying to talk, like, copy our shit.
I bet you
Stop.
Chris Foster's mother wouldn't even fuck William.
I have more respect for fucking Packer fans than that kind of shit. Christ. It's pathetic.
It's all good, bro. He's just trying to support his buddy. He's trying to support his buddy.
You think I would ever go? Oh, you're copying us. I saw someone send me the Tape Don't Lie a while. I think it was Chris Gonzalez sent me a screenshot. I was like, what are you going to do? People, you know, you got to take it as kind of a flattering Tape Don't Lie. To come in here and do that, pathetic piece of garbage.
It is.
Sorry.
It is.
Carried the show on for an extra 25 minutes. I always have more respect for the only one that's worse is Ariel and his mom. That's it. Now put William. Please take a screenshot of this guy's username. What
I got it.
Scumbag. Oh my God. Christ. Can you imagine? Like,
I can. Yeah.
I can't.
I can.
8/12/2021. Shane just quickly pulls up. That's this network. I started doing the Tape Never Lies in 2014, going into 15.
Yeah, he's like you're looking at our Patreon, I think.
What?
Yeah, that's when Phil's been doing the Tape Never Lies since holy shit. I can actually bring up. I can take this one step fucking further.
Yeah, please. Let's end on the one step Shane further.
Yeah. I mean, since
it's got to be out there. Someone saved a couple of mine. I wanted to shout them out.
Oh, I have those.
You have those?
Not all of them, but I have some. Yeah, just give me I can listen. I don't take this shit lightly. You know that I have receipts for lots of shit.
We told Angelo he couldn't start a show called The Tape Don't Lie because there was another show out there apparently.
Just a minute. Give
Who's
me a
your
minute.
friend Hendrix? Give him a shout out.
Talk away.
Whoever that is a smart guy. But you know how many people found the tape never lies back when I did it? Just the video. I would upload the video. Shout out to my boy Lauren Cox. He's like, you got to put this out there. Because we were really looking for a way to tell a street back then. There was no type of ability to do that. But I don't think we're trying to justify ourselves, Scottish Bear. We want to be able to keep it 100. Like the show said, it is insulting. Just think about something someone taught you or said to you, and you carry that your whole life.
Anyways, yeah, I'm looking for. Go ahead.
What was his name? The shout out goes to the Haitian. What was his name? Back on Twitter, Shane. Son Haitian. Sure. His name was Son Haitian. He was the one who coined me Draft Dr. Phil.
Oh, yeah. All right, now I know.
Teddy the Haitian. Teddy the Haitian. I am so sorry.
But anyways, you get the point. I'd actually heard of Tape Don't Lie because, like you said, I remember it was Gonzalez that shared that, and that was years ago.
Just let it go. Do you imagine if we brought them up on our screen? Look at these guys copying us in 2021.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
I'm trying to find that one.
I used to put all the sound effects on the tape.
Oh,
Walrus, Speed Bump Charlie. I put so many nuggets in those. I'm just pissed that he had deleted them because there was
wait a minute. I might.
Jay Cutler. I was doing Cutler film.
Is this the one? Oh, that was your. Just looking to see what I have here.
Oh my God. I just remember back then we would upload it, and in about an hour there was about 8,000 views. And then by the evening we would be doing the show because I would release it on Wednesdays. And we would record that night, and then it was like 28,000 views or 40,000 views. And just being transparent, ask Shane, certain person would try to ignore those numbers like they didn't matter. And Shane, to his credit, as a friend would say, and when I was like, what are you talking about? I'm advertising in that to go check out Bears, the old network. Till much later did we see any kind of that. But you remember this, the offensive line salsa dance. Yeah, I remember that. Chris Sandlin's the only one that ever got to see me do it because I would cut all the tape and I just record it one take. If I fucked up, I'd have to edit it later in post and go back and edit the one area that I fucked up. I just kept going to make my life easier. But 2014, The Tape Never Lies was born on YouTube. We lost you. Muted, rather.
Yeah. I got down the wormhole. Yeah. February 10th, 2017.
February 7th, 2017 was this network.
Right, on the YouTube page.
Well, there you go.
It doesn't matter, dude. It's bullshit. Tell them to please, by all means.
Yeah.
Come after us, sue us. Go ahead. We'll see where that goes.
Well,
The case is closed already, Your Honor.
Our millionaires got way much more money than you do. How about that?
Jim Larison will put an end to this quick. Jim will just say, wait, you can't. You've already brought it. You already showed it. Jack.
Oh my God, Greg, droning on and on. Shut the fuck up, dude.
He's been doing a TTL for over a decade. That is why I supported them for years. First ones I've ever seen really do this on YouTube, especially for the Bears. Guys, don't give Will your time, not worth it.
Oh, we address that all bullshit. That's the
We
thing.
always address the bullshit, guys. We got to do it. But I will be transparent if Shane knows how much it bothered, because anybody that knows Coach O and has had if you're a fucking patron, you just know what my dad means to the network, me, and football in general. And trust me, I would never fucking take anybody's name. Remember Bears Hour Live? I think Shane and I wrote down 99 names of possible shows.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yep.
Much worse than Bullet's shitty names he's been texting me for the chat right now. We had worse ones than yours, Bullets. So, and then we got Bears Hour Live. Shane was the brilliant one pulling this out. So there you go. We'll leave it at that. But fuck Will. Come back. Hopefully you can come back and apologize.
He won't.
Yeah.
But good luck. Tape don't lie. I hope you keep doing your thing. And dude, you get to break down Geno Smith this year, dude. Fuck it. Rock out with your cock out, man. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Have fun.
Oh my God. All the best. All the best. Where are we going now? That's it, right? You have anything else?
Yeah, just one second. I just wanted to get it so people could see the dates a little clearer.
Oh.
So this is TTNL. You see the join at the bottom of the page, joined February 10th, 2017.
5 million views.
And then Tape Don't Lie joined August 19th, 2020. Yeah,
Sorry,
so either way.
Billion views. I'm sorry. 5 billion. Someone else.
Believe me. We ain't taking anything from you, bro.
Trust me. We have our own music. You can have some new music, Jay.
Yeah.
What's this? Little Taste.
But let it be clickbait. You just let it be clickbait. It ain't gonna make that much. It ain't gonna make any difference on their page. Like I said, we present facts. It is what it is. We don't owe anybody an apology.
Receipts don't lie either there. But anyway, let's get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow night on Patreon, where the tape never lies.
Yes.
On the tape never lies.
It never does.
It never does. We'll see you tomorrow on the best network covering the Chicago Bears on the planet.
What's up, everybody? This is NFL Network's Adam Ray.
This is Olin Crouch.
This is Matt Waldman.
This is Chris Zork from your Chicago Bears.
I'm Deion Miller.
Dan Weeder.
Hey, man, it's Rashad Whitfield.
I'm Courtney Cronin.
Hey, this is David Kaplan. Listen to me. You want to learn football? Listen to my guys, Phil and Shane.
Shane and Phil. Shane and
Phil.
Oh, Phil.
On the Tape Never Lies
Tape Never Lies Network.
Tape Never Lies Network.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
Tape Never Lies Network, home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans on earth.